DJ Widebody.
This is
DJ Widebody. DJ Widebody. DJ Widebody.
You're listening to the sounds of DJ Widebody.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This
DJ Widebody. DJ Widebody. DJ Widebody.
You're listening to the sounds of DJ Widebody. You're listening to
Welcome.
the sounds.
Remix 630. Remix 630. Remix 630. Remix 630. DJ Widebody. DJ Widebody. DJ Widebody.
You're listening to
Welcome. Remix 630. Remix 630. Remix 630.
It will be yours for all time. God damn it! Always.
Ooh, get him! Tag! Uno! Tag! Uno! Tag! One! Yo, it's Uno T-Easy. You look bad around that says Uno. This nigga get crazy. Been riding that beat like a CB480. Been feeling it lately. Get back in that move and the haters start praying. They saying this nigga back. Yo, he's playing tracks. Yo, but it's a fact. Just maybe. I've been on my vacay. I put the mic down and try staying away. Hey, but that was not possible. That was the obstacle. I'm from the East Side yelling, I made it. SOS, yo, the game's a mess, yo.
Welcome.
Resistance,
Welcome.
specialist, and I insist y'all get the just with emphasis. The boys back. I don't need a fatty pack. My guap is good. Do it for the love of rap. I hop into it. All them little petty cats, the pity pat, and loud the gag with shitty raps. Yes, oh, heaven's the best. These niggas unheard of. Messy and Evers, you niggas get murdered. Woody Woodpecker, that's just for the cause all y'all like just to see me fail. I'ma like the
Unpaid dues. Unpaid dues. Unpaid dues. Off that network. Off that network. Off that
I am
network.
relentless. I split visions. I will love millions for all my children. That is my witness. Or y'all can say testimonials. I might go for broke while you okie dokie y'all vanish like polio. That's holy smokes. Oh, we so incredible. Damn niggas lying like vegetables. Wishing it was fruit and more edible. Just let it go. Cause you can test the ball, catch the horn, and you can test the gator, get the charm. All the little chumps get disregarded. They be departed. The mark just got it. See, I'm the product of something gifted. Y'all don't want it with none of this shit. No need to expect. From the boogie down with a quick, with a liquid flow. With a quick, take it, like this go. I perfected this shit. Let's tiptoe. On the eggshells, we gon' get this dough. But it ends well. I got friends, not foes. And if I know y'all all want this smoke, but if I don't, I got this straight though. When it pop off, y'all gon' turn this close. Y'all gon' drop off. Damn it. It's that ability to spit that acidity, no matter what the city be in my vicinity. I got me a enemy. I don't want no enemies, but there be so many me thinking they some kidding me. That's not a rhyme, a dictionary. That's a better me. No one has no better.
Cherries and blueberries, cherries and blueberries, cherries and blueberries, cherries and blueberries. Off that East Grand, off that East Grand, Mental to God, Mental to God. Fields, produced by Gadget, produced by Gadget, produced by Gadget.
I'm from the home of homicides and convicts, counterfeits, catch a hollow tip over arguing hood politics. The only acknowledgement, what up, though? Anything otherwise get you flown off a roof like you nuts. So we burning the blunt slow, then ask if you move wrong. It gets scary, cats strapped like Dirty Harry. Using fruit for target practice, cherries and blueberries. We own the lodge with it, whips kitted, Dodge tenant. Bodies go missing every day. You think the mob did it? And of course, buffs turn you to a corpse. Fiends racing off that horse. We ain't talking about a Porsche. Cause when the tire skirts gone off that fire perk, kitchens turn the 4th of July. That's how we firework. Get it how we live it. Never said it was right. If crime pays, shit stays. Another day in the life. Squad.
Yo, get it how we live, another day in the life. Feels I could tell a couple stories about some days in my life. Richard Allen projects with my uncle who's copping white. I'm 10, but another night that we spend while he's getting right. Dog is fiends all around, couple needles and some pipes on the ground. I'm looking down just so I can move around and find a clean spot to sit while my uncle's getting head in the back from this chick I'd never seen, but she was thick, and at a tender age impressions do stick. Later on that night, I seen somebody get clipped, and that was sick. From that corner in the room, I seen it all. I seen fiends light up, then nod off. When that hard turned to soft geeking, tapping their veins after tired of armed and sleeping. In the same spot, somebody just peed in. My eyes wide open like, man, I can't believe is too young to comprehend. Fiend shot instead he bleeding right in front of me. My uncle gripped me up and now we running. He in front of me like don't tell your mother. Now here come police. We hop into the car and dip off. My intro to the streets. Fast forward bunch of misdemeanors.
Yo, misdemeanors in the felony. Chopping records like celery.
Same poetry.
With poetry. That's the recipe. Like cherries and blueberries. These fairy rappers is very sweet. Blow your pinky toe off like Della Reese if you step to me. Preferably walk on by like Isaac Hayes. Cause I can blaze your whole spot like live grenades. Highly explosive doses of dopeness. So ferocious like oceans. These vultures ride the wave and get.
Russell. VA stand up.
You know, realize how great just understanding the importance of what my city had brought to the table, you know? Cause me growing up, man, hearing fucking, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like, that was Detroit shit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like hearing fucking Busta Rhymes albums and hearing certain songs, that was Detroit shit. But I didn't know because it was marketed to me as New York shit, you know? But that was our shit though, you know? Because Detroit, you can say we never had a sound, but that's our sound in some sense, you know, as far as rap goes. Like this house, yeah, this man. You gotta think about it. I was born at Henry Ford Hospital, which is not too far from here. Literally probably 10-minute drive, 5-minute drive. We lived here until I was in the first grade, and then that's when we moved to the east side. East side, a whole new world, man. It played a lot in part of how my personality is, you know. They encouraged me to rap. I was like the only black kid in class. That was just cool to them. Like, oh, we can rap. But then when I got to middle school, and I went to like an all-black school, it's like, shit. They gonna beat me up there. That was 6th grade.
BA Mac. North Carolina. Remember. ADSY@gmail.com. Get your tracks in. Don't forget. Let's go, BA. Ron Wallace, Creek Black, JB Swift.
They gotta out-rap, you know, out-rap. You know what I'm saying? You can rap. It's cool. Say what you gotta say. Make it easy.
Dirty old man.
Buff told me I should talk to him. Your words can make a spot in the game. Just help him walk through him. Wasn't always in the zone, gave up walks to him. I catch him snoozing, ride too smooth to give a balk to him. JB's a JD in the Thea's face. Say my name on records, it get ugly as your whiz face. Life's a slim with a thin waist. Who can run court tongue, 4 keep 5Ks like the Crim race. I'm on my own pace, steak with the bone place. I'm on tape showing big pictures like the drones make. Thanking God I had the time to get my dome straight. And you ain't eating off
See me hustle.
like a
See me
gold
hustle.
plate.
Shout on the chat.
I used to want a crib off a long lake. Now I want a block back in the valley, make my own break. But Mike Note said they gon' hate, so I'ma do it for my whole state. If you something, rock with me, cause you got this hip hop shit locked with a key into the 7, 3, 4, 4. More and more, Ace Deuce got the juice, it's keeping it raw into the 2, 4, 8, getting papes from the top to the bottom where we digging the crates into the 8, 1. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. They say heavy is the head that wears the crown. Well, she
Mine is on right now, and it's cocked to the side. Now I'm looking like the Funko doll of Biggie Smalls. Man, you so-called kings is really brawls. When Atlas shrugged, I juggled the weight of the world. While you morbid niggas crumble from the weight of your girl. Don't try to show up, bow up, or your ass to get towed up. From the flow up, another nigga to dock and sew up. Cause I'm all about bars, but we can spar if you take it there. I tie my hands behind my back just to make it fair. And here's the image so you well aware. I once fought a polar and told niggas go over there and help the bear. That's why I'm on some shit you can't compare. And I'm the last motherfucker that you ever wanted over there. So watch your tone when you speak to the man. Be it my millions or my millions or my bunches. Three, rockin' with you, couldn't stop this hip hop shit. Lock with it, keep it into the 7, 3, 4, 8, got shit, keep it rolling.
Yeah.
More free black, more free black, more free black, more slush, slush.
Yeah.
Freaker snap easy, freaker snap easy,
Snap easy. All I do is work. Seems like you don't understand nothing I'm saying to you. Okay, I gotta go. No, I gotta go. Old wounds can never heal if it's a constant battle. When it's ass backwards if you pave the way we travel. Rocky relationship, our foundation's unstable. Shocking that this is over. Red line read fatal. Less talks with more breakups. Let it go. My ego got me searching for answers like Dora and Diego. Who are you with no makeup? D minus, C plus, fake hair, A cup, gold digger with good luck. I've been done riding this roller coaster. We have fun, giving you the best that I had and never have upset, but no hard feelings or even bad blood. Here's a thumbs up, well wishing behind a soft nudge. Heart cold as Kool-Aid slush. I guess I'm drunk off lust, or that's how the cookie crumbles to dust. Yeah, my heart cold as Kool-Aid slush. I guess I'm drunk off lust, or that's how the cookie crumbles to dust.
Things will change if you ain't on your game. My brain, my mind, this time think I'm to blame. Tonight, get right, this life, relight the flame. Cause you and I gon' do or die again. Hello? Yeah.
Jelani Beats, projection beats, projection beats, projection beats, projection. Hey, not music, talent, teardrop, beats.
I'm heartbroken, cause family friends ain't what they used to be, and I done changed too. So I guess they ain't used to me. But the harsh reality is people made me this way. Forced to say fucking and drown out what anyone say. So I grab my pen and Jose, Quavo that is, to drink this pain down and to hide all these tears. I was taught to show no fear, but yet it's an emotion, so I don't. Cause I don't wanna feel like I'm losing my focus. Loud back got me choking and thinking of a master plan. Or is it that I'm in my own zone and my mind just ran? I'm trying to deal with all the BS that's going on, but one thing mama told me was to always be strong. I'm trying to hold on, but the times I feel I'm by myself, but I can only play the hands of the cards that's been dealt. This song is heartfelt, so I hope you feel me, cause everybody goes through some harsh realities. We all here in this world of sin. The gates will open soon, and I'm trying to walk right in. When he calls for me, that's why I'm striving for the better. Obstacles are pouring, I need him as my umbrella. Cause Cause I done had cats put the burner to my face at the wrong time, being in the wrong place. Not afraid to die, too much pride, him I'm testing. Not realizing that only your love and your blessings is what kept me here. Facing another day with the decisions of taking my life the right way. Or straying away into my own zone. A different girl every day from the home.
Hill Prop 97, Prop 97, Prop 97. Chicago Fire, Chicago Fire, Chicago Fire, Chicago Fire. RTO beats, RTO beats, RTO beats. Hella vibes too, hella vibes too, hella vibes. Go ahead, smooth out, go ahead, smooth out.
Hella vibes, feel me, feel me, feel me,
Tasir Rasay, Tasir Rasay, Tasir Rasay, Tasir Rasay. Brain, brain. R.I.P., R.I.P. De-energetic, 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 de-energetic. Black man, R.I.P., 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 R.I.P. Always ashy, always ashy, always ashy. Black man forever, black man forever, black man forever, black man forever, black man forever. R.I.P., bro. R.I.P., bro. Go get that minis, go get that minis, go get that shades of black, shades of black, shades of black, shades of black. People need things, people need things.
Hey, yo, man, be terrible for this one, brother. I'm just a regular guy. I put my suits in the closet and let the skeletons cry. Don't ever ask the melanin why, cause I don't answer bird niggas. Fly, pelican, fly. I keep the smoke like I'm holding cigars. BMX, I got them flipping over these bars. I see what you did. The whole crowd oohs and ahs, not knowing how bad you hurting that you smile through the scars. Black math, laced it, I'm one with the vibe. I'm on a quest for love and I come with a tribe. Thumb in the drive. And I'm thumbing a ride on my way to Motor City. Yep, I'm coming inside. Pause. Bring back classics, bring back Thriller. Yep, I miss Aretha, long live Dilla. Why these albums got all these fillers? I don't know. Don't front, I know you feel us. You can catch me riding down Sunset. Not the boulevard, nope. Cause the sun sets anywhere I pull up, y'all. Yep. Squad is true, I do reach the wedding ring. You gotta stand for something, I fought for everything. Yep. I miss content, I miss subjects. We remember abuse, but forget substance. Backwards. I love you all, but right now I'm talking to blacks. Motown. Oh, let me get back to what I do. We can never lose. Time replaces pain with composure.
And then reality set in that the big G word happened. And then
Let's continue.
And I realized that
Black Mav, R.I.P.
Grandma coming home from church on a Sunday, cussing at this man driving fast down our one-way street. He ain't know it, but someday that fast living will have him heard up in another way. He wanted to be a king hustler beast, and wanted to be the king thug of the streets. Till them boys shot his Chevy up, he got popped. Sorry to burst your bubble, Caprice. Hey, and that news ain't front page. I guess gun plays the feng shui. Meanwhile, I'm trying to live like the sun say, cause I'm touched by light and I love my life. Hey, am I focusing on tragedies? No. That's only half of what I really rap in my songs. The other half is filled with all of the happiness, y'all. Cause I was raised with love and my family's strong.
Unfortunately, the story is not unique here in Washington, D.C. The capital has experienced the most intense gentrification process in the country.
It's off that math review.
So spiritual. So spiritual. So spiritual.
Everybody wanna take, nobody wanna give. Sitting high and mighty, like that's the way to live. Out of state, uptown, people on the lookout. Power behind your name, average Joes bring a crook out. Money. We just out here hustling to survive. Hostile situations show the demons in my eyes. Trying to swallow my pride and reach out for help, but that got me nowhere, so I ride for myself. Beggars can't be choosers, and choosers are undecided. Carrying that mental crutch, they world is lopsided. Many are misguided, lost but never found. Thrown into the waters, can't swim and drown. Most cats is gon' hate, cause my style is not common. But I'm a most deaf, take it back to the roots. The real thought process is strong. That's why I don't understand how cats like
coming out
get
here
on
today.
stage.
Let's get right to work. He's hot. Let's get right to work.
Music you are. Music you are. Music you are. To my ears. Music you are. Music you are. You are. To my ears. Even when I don't participate, you find a way to reciprocate. I never skip the beat on you. And you know I never cheat on you. I was broken till you came to heal me. You helped me be the real me. I never tried to change you, even though I rearranged you. And you knew I stayed true to you. Everything I do for you. I just want you to know. You know that you have my heart. Music you are. 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 You found me when I couldn't find me. Yes, I was running in the deep, my lighthouse shooter. You were my way.
That blessed girl. R.I.P. Lil Sis.
Black Mav on the track, saying poetry, you know we, saying poetry, yeah, you know what we doing, Yo, I ain't trying to go back and forth. I'll crack your jaw at the Catholic call back in Saginaw, Michigan. Had that blessed girl filming it while she giggling like a little kid that was ticklish. You a lyricist? Nah, dog, you licorice. Your name should be Twizzler, cause you sweet as your sister is. Bag you up, have you lamping on concession stands. Protect your clan, I bring the pain like a method man. And yo, I'm a genius like Jizza. Got your fingers on Twitter, you a singer like Scissor. I'm a top dog from Niagara Falls that drop bars and light rappers up on the mic like cop cars. You a joke like 911 in your town. I'm public enemy #1 with the gold crown. I'm taking album snippets and making albums with it. You on the gram posting pictures, chasing algorithms. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Fields called the Dapper Dawn, known to get my trapping on. From the home where hoes stand on pose and get they clapping on. You get your 12-24 kinda rapping on. When I get
East Grand,
it's no debate.
Radio Man,
They get you chased from this place. If I pull the lid, bet you get erased. Cause this high kinda roller in the host to leave a hole in the shoulder of a soldier the size of a fucking boulder. Now admit that I'm colder than the tip of an iceberg. Fuck the waterworks if I mention that pipe verse. You niggas all talk, so I know you won't try me. Make like Isaac Hayes, nigga walk on by me. Face all up in that ass like a prostate. Do you like them, but put you on the earth in a box state? Come to the D, please stay the fuck off the back streets. Cause them shots had you running like you trained on a track meet.
30 clips in my mental, pick a target. I'm on point, aiming high for my victim, so fix your joint. Back in better, baby, no conversation. Put this bud in rotation. I break this rhythm down and smoke it like a blunt. Really talking crazy, they want to stray me, passing knowledge on their.
Chicks everywhere, dudes is cock blocking, ready to get it popping. Patron shots plentiful. Some chicks rocking the same gear, identical. Security's tight, ain't got a cat on the chokeout. Hot box session in the restroom, smoked out. These end of the week, cause there's a party going on and everybody's hitting the street.
Surrounded by bouncing asses, shingles smearing off straight with big glasses. It's crazy when you're having fun, our time pass. Spend the money that's a budget cause it's for the mass. That's for burning up that you just spending all the class. Nothing but cool brothers, ain't no need for spaz. The streets came out tonight, you know we smashing. Fucking with groups, we Trump bitches. They willing if you grabbing. If you never been a renegade, you probably laughing. If you stay on that G shit, I'm up for matching. Cause I never been the type of kid that skis or passion. Beat it up for 1 hour, you know your boy be lasting.
Whopper chopper. Shout out to Still Reserve.
That can never be me, cause I'm a life of the party. All that food and getting retarded.
Chicks everywhere, dudes is cock blocking, ready to get it popping. Patron shots plentiful. Some chicks rocking the same gear, identical. Security's tight, ain't got a cat on the chokeout. Hot box session in the restroom, smoked out. These are the things you see when it's the end of the week. Cause there's a party going on and everybody's hitting the streets.
Speak to the from tail feathers to cool drinks. Got a hall pass of fucking thoughts. Press the spot for us over and stamp that. Wide body, keep the body jumping in grand fashion. In the cut, I keep the ballers and the schemers, and I love it. Body rocking bartenders doing tricks down to the cats with the mints and the shitter. Get the digit getter, still got it. But once the lights come on, yo, I reconsider. Know the legend peak game. No need for fucking up for a mud duck with sloppy brains. Won't talk, having the blast, cash spent. Stay lit for the moment, ain't no opposition. When the groove gets moving the room, no fussing the fight. And when this rap recited, give you urge to press the wine and do it again.
Soon as I walk through the door, I can feel the glare. But it's all good, I got family in here. And I ain't trying to let nobody fuck up my mood, disturb my groove with they fucked up attitudes. I see my man Black Mav in the cut. Say what up to the God and squad, show love. Monkey shoulder on deck and they twisted back. Clown the cats that don't know that they swag is whack. Wobble chopper at the bar with a chick from Vegas, conversating on why Pot's one of the greatest. And she seemed so locked in until the wobble came on. Now she about to get it popping on the dance floor. Old girl got her dancing shoes. Wild bodies on the ones and twos, keeping the party rocking like he's supposed to. Those who oppose crew, bro, let us show you. But you don't want drama, and neither do we. But if we got a burger with
Fucking them, flop the spark, flop the spark, flop the spark, flop the spark. Welcome to another edition of Talk That Stuff. DJ Y Body here. That's right. This 31st day of July 2022, last day of the month as we go into August, heading into another year 2023. Got the panel here. Go ahead and start the intro. Without further ado, let's get it. That's right, we're here this 31st day of July. Talk that stuff this 31st day. We are here. Got the panel here. I'm here. People in the chat. Salute. Diggerhurt. See me hustle. Shout out to the panel. First, from Memphis, Tennessee, the comrade, king of many NPCs, Diggerhurt.
Peace.
From Flint, Michigan, comrade, Wad Wallace.
Let's go.
From Jersey, now in somewhere down in Atlanta, see me hustle.
What up?
From Jersey, the comrade, Sunray Beats, aka Riggs.
Oh.
From Alabama, my way is St. Louis, ladies and gentlemen, Dixie Freeley.
Peace and blessings.
And joining us today from somewhere, parts unknown. Give it up for Big Sis, Monique Foster Jones.
Hey.
And I'm DJ Wild Body, and this is Talk That Stuff. And that is it. What's going on? What's happening, everybody?
What up, dog?
Peace. Oh man, just cooling on a Sunday.
That's what's up. This Talk That Stuff brought to you by Popeye's Woodshop. Popeye's Woodshop specializes in custom woodworking, coffee tables, china cabinets. They do it all. They're dedicated to providing you with top quality work at utmost professionalism. Give them a call today, 1-800-286-5233. 1-800-286-5233. Use the code PICK. Also, Skeet on a Rocket. Skeet on a Rocket. Custom artwork. Go ahead and soar. SAOR. Go check them out at Skeet on a Rocket on Instagram. Once again, Skeet on a Rocket. That's it. We're expecting some more people. Huh?
That's a real place, Skeet on a Rocket.
Yeah, Skeet on a Rocket, man. Shout out to Shop Owen.
Company, yes.
Yeah.
Company name.
Always thinking. Always got the what do you call it? Always got the mind working. Well, yeah, we had some other guests was coming in. I don't know if they're gonna be late, but we got Big Sis here. Welcome, Big Sis.
Hey, how are you?
All right, good to see you.
Welcome.
All right.
I don't know if y'all can see me, but if y'all can, excuse me because I look rough.
It's all good.
But
sideways. Can you turn your phone? You sideways.
You sideways.
The good thing about it,
there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, you're good. Now, the good thing about it, though, is that Wide Body only has himself on the YouTube channel, so you can only see him right now. So.
Thanks, Malcolm. Malcolm always reminds me on one spotlight. Appreciate it, Malcolm. Hold on. There we go. How about that? Hey, now you're on. All right, Mo. All right, welcome. So, yeah, we was going to have another female on. She's running a little late, has some business to attend to. But, yeah, we're still going to, the show must go on. So, real quick, check out boxing last night. Garcia, was that unanimous or split?
It was split.
It was majority, yeah.
Majority, okay.
One judge had too many cocktails before the fight.
Yeah.
He called it a draw.
One judge was tripping.
Man, you know what? I forgot before I begin. I want to send rest in peace our comrades that have fallen in the last year. Comrade Black Mav, that blessed girl, Miss Bowens, and Tashira Say. I think Friday was the year that we lost Mav. Am I correct there?
They're
yeah, I believe so.
Freeze up on the screen, Wild Body?
What?
I'm looking at the screen. Did Wild freeze up on y'all screen or what?
Hey, yo, Wild on mine.
Hey, yo, Wild. Taz need the link.
All right, tell him I got him.
All right.
Oh.
Yes.
But yeah,
rest in peace to all of them, man.
Yeah, it's not a day that goes by that, man. Those people are not ingrained in our memories in some kind of way. So continue resting in peace. Blessed girl to share, most definitely Black Mav forever.
Black Mav forever.
Absolutely.
Hashtag Black Mav forever. Man, I miss them, man. I just still think sometimes I'm gonna hear their voice come on late or something. What's up?
Yep. BG's laugh. I cannot get her laugh out of my head.
Oh man. I tell you, RTO, shout out to him wherever he is. So real quick, man. So we talked about boxing. UFC last night was crazy. Amanda Nunes recaptured her 135-pound title. She is the double champ again. But I got to give it to Pena. She was a dog. She went in there. She fought her heart out. It was just enough. Wasn't enough. Shout out to Amanda Nunes, and the rest of the fights were garbage. All my horses lost. Derek Lewis got hit a couple times. He fell. He got the Chuck Liddell syndrome, loose brain. So shout out to them. Good night last night. We had the fight night. Some more stuff coming up, but we'll talk about that later. So today, not to be scattered all over the place. You know, we have first time we've had a woman's point of view in here, so we're gonna kind of just get to it. We're not trying to attack anybody. It's just questions we're gonna be asking, and just to get a woman's perspective on what we talk about, because a lot of times we get labeled as being feminist and things like that. Certain people in here.
Right? Brave woman. Brave
woman. First, let's thank her for coming to the show and participating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I've thanked you many times, sis. Right?
Yeah, you did. You thanked me.
It was hard. So we had to get the Zoom situation together. So real quick, let's just all talk about this. What do men and women want from each other? Let's just talk about, let's not try to include finances and money. Let's talk about other things. So
not to.
Right. What do women and men both want from one another?
Respect on my end.
Respect.
That's like the biggest thing for me.
Right.
Respect, because with respect, everything else kind of falls in place.
Elaborate on respect.
Elaborate on respect. I mean, just general respect, nothing specific, nothing out of the ordinary, just a common courtesy.
Right.
You know, I'm thinking of you. I'm letting you know I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm here. I'm there. Instead of, you know, just out there trying to be on your own.
Right.
Moving like you're single, things of that nature.
All right. We're talking about.
I second what he's saying, not to butt in, but just like mutual respect. Like that seems like something that's been put on the back burner, whether it be the man or the woman. I'm not pointing fingers at one particular gender group, but it's like that's like common courtesy, especially where I live. That's like a lost art.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, no.
Go
ahead, Hurts.
I'm sorry, man. I would say reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever I'm, you know, willing to do at the kindness or the bottom of my heart, I expect it to be reciprocated. Just some reciprocity. Just get out of the mindset of thinking that one particular set of duties is unique to the one sex and not the other. You know.
Right.
True. But let me say this. Like, I know a lot of things that manly things that men do. I don't want that disturbed. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and rake the leaves and all that. I don't expect
for sure
to have to rake the leaves. But
I ain't looking for my lady to do all that.
Hey, but if she come
That
outside
she
and
wants
help
to,
me
you know.
out, yeah, if she
Right,
come out and help me out, hey,
That she wants to.
That's a plus.
Right.
Sure.
What's going on? Monica Donato's in the building. She's on mute. She had to take care of something. So, hey, Monica, if you can hear me, whenever you want to chime in, please feel free. But sorry to cut y'all off.
I hear you, bro. Thank you. Hi,
All right.
everybody.
Hey,
hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Let's see, Monica. We'll go. That's my hold on. Oh, so we're talking about, you know, if you want to come out and hold it back, that's fine. But yeah, so I think for me, it's an understanding of being understanding. You know, it's like kind of respecting each other. Well, that's kind of in respect too, but each other's boundaries and being willing to bend sometimes with things. I don't want a brick wall and no one that don't want to compromise, because I always feel it's a give and take thing, especially in today's, you know, I'm not no kind of person that want to be snuggled up under somebody 24/7. I'm not that. I like my space, but I'm also going to be respectful enough to hey, I'm out here. I'll do this. I'll see you when I get home. Now, I'm not giving a 15-minute update every 15 minutes because the trust is supposed to be there, you know? So, but, you know, if the trust ain't there, it ain't going to work anyways, you know? And if I'm out there doing dirt, I'm just saying I'm respectful enough not to let it interfere in my, you know what I'm saying? Just to put it out there. Not saying I am, but if I'm doing dirt or something like that, I'm respectful enough not to bring it home.
Not to bring it home, yeah, for sure.
Let me get the women's point of view with that. Mo, you want to elaborate or chime in on that?
What do women want out of men? Let's see.
We'll be here for 20 years.
I mean, I think all the above is obvious, but I don't know. I think for a woman, like you want your man to be able to know you and like know your intuitions and know you enough to know what you expect without you having to say it 50 million times.
All right, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Men are not mind readers. If a woman wants something done or if a man's lacking in something, she has to let that man know.
I agree with that.
I agree. However, if I've told you over and over and over and over again and you still ain't getting it right, well, then now we got a problem.
Here's the thing, I feel you on that.
Here's the thing: when a woman accepts me, then you accept what you. This is what you get. I'm not changing. You know what I'm saying? This is what you're gonna get.
I disagree with that.
Yeah,
no,
I totally disagree with you. Totally disagree.
Like, it gotta be some give and take.
Nah, if you don't want me, then don't select me.
Oh, hold on.
Well,
go ahead.
You don't want what I bring to the table.
Go ahead, Monica.
Don't select me.
But let me say this to you, because I'm gonna tell you right now. Today is Sunday, July 31st, and it is 7:14. 2022. You're never gonna get this date back. You're never gonna get this time back, and things could change. So if you're just one-sided and you're just focused on being who you are in this moment, and you're basically saying, I'm not gonna change, this is who I am and this is who she has to accept. Now something can happen. Go ahead.
Let me rephrase this.
Okay.
I'm not gonna change for you.
Damn.
That's what I meant to say.
Now I gotta pull the phone up. You have to be single.
Yeah, I am.
You have to be single. I'm not going to change for you, and you said that with authority. What in the
Men don't change for women.
J type pork sandwich is that?
Men don't change for women.
So what?
Hold-
So what
hold
will
on.
you change for then?
We are who I am. Who I am. A man is who
You have to change for the relationship.
No, what you
you
gonna
have to
change for?
change for the relationship. This
Right,
is not an
you gotta
individual
change for
thing.
the
You have to
relationship.
change for the relationship. It's not an individual movement here.
Yeah, you got to be able to grow.
I won't change for any woman. I'll make the changes I deem necessary for myself. But no, I'll never change for a woman.
That's
Take a sip of this sangria.
Brick wall, bro.
no.
Yeah, the way you said
You
that.
need to go get a bottle. Man. I didn't know I was
I
going
mean, for me,
Okay, well, it done got started. All right.
it's somebody has some background noise.
I know. I'm
What?
sorry. I
You
had
good?
another commitment. Let me go on mute. I'm sorry.
You good?
Yeah, because you what you were saying was good. We just wanted to hear you clearly. That's all.
Right.
But like Wide Body was saying, there has to be some give and take in any relationship. There has to be communication. You know, what Mo was touching on about expectations and all. I mean, I'm cool with that, but if it's something that's not occurring on a regular, don't expect me to read your mind. You know, you're a grown person, open your mouth.
Right.
I agree as well.
Communication is key.
Right. That is the
Word is fine.
I think that's one of the most issues that lead down to divorce or breaking up is communication and stuff.
Yep.
Whatever it is, you gotta put it out there. You gotta put it on the table, and it has to be talked about. Whatever it is, small, big. I don't care.
But you know what?
100% agree. Yes,
not
with
just
the
communicate.
You kind of know how to figure it out.
Who got a CV on?
Somebody driving a semi truck.
Right.
So let me ask you this. So let's go into something else here. What are your thoughts on the whole Smith relationship opposed to like someone like the Cosbys? Are they broke? Are they considered broken?
No, the Cosby's was make believe, and the
Well, I'm saying,
I wouldn't say broken.
We kind of touched on this last night. It appears to me, now I don't know, I'm not in those folks' households, so I'm not pretending like I know these people, but it seems to me one of them has an avoidant attachment style, and the other one has a anxious attachment style, from what I see.
Please elaborate.
So we kind of touched on it last night when we met. So people with avoidant attachment styles, they're going to be a bit aloof, a bit unentertained into what is bothering the other person. Dare I say, a little bit narcissistic. And then a person with an anxious attachment style is going to be the person holding on to the relationship, trying to make it work, putting the other person on a pedestal, and just pretty much losing themselves in a relationship and walking up on stage and slapping the shit out of somebody on national TV. That kind of shit.
Right. Is someone trapped in this? Is Will Smith trapped?
I don't think so, man. He's a grown man.
Nobody, you never trapped. He put himself in that situation. He could leave if he wanted to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to think about it, man. She talk about she was never the love of his life. I mean, he was never the love of her life.
That hurts.
Right. Pac was the love of her life, and he accepted that like that. So you know what I'm saying? If he accepted that, he knew what he was getting into from the jump.
Right.
Right. Well, I kind of see, that happens about the whole.
Did she say that, bro?
Yeah,
she said it. Yeah, she said that. I heard it. She said it.
Yeah, she said that on the Red Table Talk like a bunch of times.
Get tired of that damn table. I'll break the legs on that one.
That table don't need to be on the internet.
Right. That's my whole thing is like a lot of shit that he accepted. I'm like, man, any other man would have been out the door. You telling me after all these years,
a lot of men stay, bro, and stuff like that. A lot of men stay through the disrespect. And you know what I mean? Unfortunately, we try to, I think a lot of men try to make the best of a situation because it's, I always say this, it's catastrophic for a man. A divorce for a man is catastrophic. For a woman, it's just simply an investment. But for a man, it's catastrophic.
In most cases.
Everything. As a man, you lose everything.
I can kind of agree.
Okay.
Because
a woman is just cashing out an investment.
I've been through it, so I can kind of agree. I can kind of agree what he's saying.
So for Jada to get, for them to divorce, which I mean, honestly, who can't see that coming? You know what I mean? Eventually, but for Jada, she's just gonna cash out. It's nothing for her. For Will, it's I mean, Will got a lot of money. He got a lot of money, but I mean, yo, half of $500 million is still a lot. You know what I'm saying? You still gonna feel that. I don't
Go
care.
ahead, Hurts. What you saying, Hurts?
But a lot of us, even on this panel, we're not educated or we're not informed when we first started dating and getting into girls and shit like that. We're not taught that marriage is actually is more business than it is anything. And a lot of it takes us to get older because we don't know what we want when we're 18, 19, 20. It gets to a point we begin to understand what our needs are in terms of our mate. And then sometimes a lot of us don't get it early on. We get it later on once we've been through a hell and high water to get to where we are now. But you ask the average 20-year-old woman what she wants, she's not going to be able to tell you. Just like a 20-year-old man not going to be able to really truly tell you what he truly wants. He has an idea, but I think it takes a certain level of readiness on both parties and a maturity also to arrive to that point. I think somebody said earlier about respect. Respect is always paramount in any situation. Like if you're willing to forego your respect as a person, that says a lot about the psyche, your psyche, because respect is paramount in any situation.
Anxious attachment style.
Right.
I always feel like with the men, as we when Malcolm was saying as far as the investment part, I think the love for a man is conditional, some sorts. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say?
Unconditional or conditional?
No, it's conditional. Your love, what you do. I mean, you as a man, there's conditions on the love. You don't pay the rent. Hey, I can fall out of love. A woman can fall out of love with you.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got to be fair now, because if the
I
woman
was
don't
say that go both ways.
we got to be fair. So,
that a man has.
Because I'm telling you right now, if I get with a woman and she ain't putting out, guess what? I think
it's important for a man. See, I think a lot of men get caught up, like I did. You know what I'm saying? And also, I include me in that. But a lot of us get caught up prior to the relationship, not defining what we expect from a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's a mistake I'll never make again. But I mean, I just think that a lot of us go into a relationship and we just go in open-ended, and we'll deal with whatever comes up. But I think, at least for me, I'll define what my expectations are for any woman that I deal with in the future. So she knows what her role is, and there's no misunderstanding about what is expected out of her and what she is to provide for me.
All right.
But you should have a combination of both of those things anyway. You know what I mean? Like that's how it should have been from the beginning. Like you can be honest in the beginning, but it also has to be open-ended because the expectation is for you to grow. You should grow. There's things that you wouldn't have.
I don't need you to grow. I grow with or without you. Because I grow anyway. As a man, this is what I do.
True. You are going to grow solo, but when you become a union, you become one. We're growing together. So there's a lot of different growth that's going on. You're growing as an individual, and then we're also growing together as a couple. It's just in addition to the relationships that you already have. That's really what it is.
Okay.
Right.
That's true.
And why by that, I ain't trying to take over the show now, but it was a key point I wanted to make in the last segment about communication.
You got it, bro.
So communication is important, but a lot of us, men and women and everybody around, mess up as the type of communication. When you getting to point the finger at people, well, you did this, and you, instead of I feel and being objective, you automatically putting that person on the fence. You automatically finna stir up something you really wasn't trying to do in the first place. But and I say that because it's like how male and females talk to each other. Like it just gets so ugly at times. Like it just like I can't do it. But I just want to make that point about communication. You gotta know the difference between subjectivity and objectivity. When you're discussing something kind of like a hot topic or whatever, something controversial with your mate.
There's no I in team, So I mean, if I start hearing a person just talking about I and me and this, and it's automatically basically saying that she don't consider herself with the program.
Those are deal breakers. And before we were talking about, as far as knowing who you're dealing with, and then for me, it's no surprises. Man, you get with a female and find out later down the line she got a coke habit or something. You know what I'm saying?
True story. True story.
But yeah,
that should
man,
reveal itself before any type of marriages or anything like that.
Oh, it did, and that's why she got booted to the moon.
Yeah, that shit should.
But that's why
if
you
get
have
married to somebody
yeah.
in the first few months and shit, then that's on you, bro.
But that's why you gotta let the relationship maturate, man. Because when you put all your chips, you put all your chips in, and you ain't got a clear understanding of who it is that you're sitting across from, they ain't got that much skin in the game, so they walk away from the situation. They come out with all the chips. You like Malcolm was saying earlier. Once you put so much into it, you're devastated because you're putting so much into it. Whereas it's like in any relationship, man, everybody got to put their equal part in. Now as a man, I can deal with putting 55 in and my woman putting 45 in. That's doable.
Right.
But if here it is, I'm putting in 85 and you're doing 15. We got to we got to get our math right after that, because
that math still is wrong. It should be 100 and 100.
Well, what I'm saying is if we're both, you're right. That's true. But like you said, we're putting in our equity, right? So okay, let's say 100 and 100. If I'm putting in 150 and you're doing 50, then we got to get this math right. Like I said, I can do with a little bit of the differentiation on that, but like I'm not going to show everything that it takes for me to carry this relationship on my own. Because it's not for me to carry. If I choose you as my woman, my mate, or my wife, or what have you, there's gonna be times when I need your help, and I need you to be unwavering in that help. You know what I'm saying? So I need you to be like, if something happened, you the second in command. You gotta come through, and my responsibility is already understood. Right. So it's like, but a lot of relationships are not structured in that manner. You know what I'm saying? You got dudes who take full advantage of women like that. You know what I'm saying? But just to have that man around, she's willing to do whatever it takes just to keep him around where he's clearly not invested, and vice versa. So
anxious attachment style.
Right. So it's like right. So that's just how I feel. But when it comes to something like that, man, it's like I've seen many relationships where people around me have been in relationships where it was one-sided, but like they were so committed to it to make it work that they just took any kind of abuse that came along with it just for the sanctity of the marriage or the kids or what have you, or feeling like they gonna lose out on money because they don't want to separate from that situation. Where it's really deteriorating you from the inside. You know what I'm saying?
That's called the sunken cost fallacy, where a person will hold on to something negative or bad just because of the amount of years they got it.
Right.
Yeah, no value to it because they've invested so much time and resources into something, it could be a relationship or a business. So you got to know when to cut your losses.
It's hard. It's hard though I'm not gonna speak for women because I don't know, but for men, I think it's hard to sometimes come face to face. I mean, I don't know about anybody else's situation. I'll just speak about me.
Speak on it, man.
But it's just hard to leave a relationship after you invested so much time in, and even sometimes when it's over. And y'all chime in if y'all been there before, or if y'all want to speak about y'all personal experiences.
I've known someone that was with someone that they were still married, they still lived under the same roof, but they weren't intimate. They were just, it was a business.
They're roommates.
We got a business here.
Yeah.
Right. So and they were out doing their own thing and stuff, and then they'll get with somebody, then they'll get serious, and then they'll get finally divorced, and then that other person they've been dealing with, they thinking they're gonna stop, and when they get divorced, they're gonna marry them right away, and that person says, you know what? I like being single. I'm gonna take this slow. And
the thrill is gone.
Right. I don't want to be married no more.
Yeah, but my point is, it's hard to come to that point where you just like, all right, enough's enough, and I'm gonna end this. It's very hard, yo. I'm assuming it's hard for women too, but it's extremely hard.
It was hard for me. That's I also share the same experience with you, Malcolm. It was hard for me, but goddamn, it's some certain things you cannot do. Right. And when you do those certain things, I got to cut you loose. And I don't care how many kids we got, how many years we've been together. Like, nah, because I'm gonna end up behind bars of fucking with you. Like,
but I think it's tough like that, especially as a man. Like when you build something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's hard to see a wrecking ball knock that shit down. Like as a man, when you build some shit, like you build some shit with out of your bare hands, you sit back and you marvel at that. Like, man, I built this. But I gotta, because I built it, I gotta maintain it. And it's hard when you're in a situation where you're supposed to have a partner, you got help, but they're not maintaining the structure, of the relationship. And so it's tough looking at that wrecking ball, knock all that shit down. And it's hard to just go back to that wreckage and take those scraps and build a new situation. So you got to get new materials.
But you know what though?
I want to hear a woman's perspective.
I was gonna say, let me ask you a question. Those hard stops that you said there's no compromise, and were those things made very clear in the beginning?
You talking to me?
You talk
either or.
Oh, for me, I mean, some things go without saying. It's like it's just certain things you can't do when you're married, you know. So, I mean, I don't think I have to elaborate more on that. So, it's just certain things you cannot do in a marriage, and when you do those things, there's either the other person can, in my case, can stay there and continue to take it, or you can, lawyer up and do what you got to do.
Void the contract.
For me, I
voided the contract.
I didn't define what the expectations, my expectations of my ex should have been in the beginning. I failed to do that, so
that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, I take responsibility for that, and that was.
So you thought it was
definitely
what wasn't said was already said, meaning like she was supposed to. Well, you already admit that you should have.
Hey, I'm not the best when it comes to communicating my, what I'm saying, what it is that I guess expect from my partner. I wasn't the best at that, I've since learned a great deal about it, so that mistake won't happen in the future, but it happened, and I got to take responsibility for my partner. So the fact that she failed to deliver on what I expected when I didn't tell her in the beginning, now over time we might have, I might have said, hey, what the fuck's going on? But in the beginning, I didn't say, hey, this is a deal breaker for me. If you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
For that, I have to take the, I had to take the responsibility that I didn't communicate it. So,
yeah. In my case, I shouldn't have to tell somebody, hey, cheating is a non-negotiable. I should have to say that.
I mean, you're right. That does go without saying, but I think sometimes, and maybe that's not a good example, but I think sometimes we assume that the other person knows how detrimental something is when they really don't. Like, of course, she, however you decide to accept that is how you accepted it. But if, I don't know, like if she would have known from the beginning, like that's a clear non-negotiable for me. Like, would she have still done it, or would she have, checked herself? Like, I don't know. I just think, like I said, I don't think that's maybe a good example, but I think a lot of times we think we're communicating, but we really aren't communicating. Or I think sometimes we don't really hear what the other person's saying.
The other person's not being receptive.
We're so caught up into how it's being said and its delivery. Like, that's one thing I could say about my husband. Like, he just, I called him part of the asshole club, like he just said what the fuck he wanted to say, how he wanted to say it. I mean, that's what I loved about him. But sometimes, he got a little slick with the mouth, and it's like, oh, hold the fuck up. Like, who you talking to? But, I had to learn how, like, that man is just expressing himself, and he's in the heat of what he's into, and let him get it out. And then almost always later, it was just, like, I'm not trying to, or he might end the conversation like that. Like, I'm not trying to come at you. I ain't trying to back you in a corner, but, I'm frustrated, or I'm this, or I'm that, so sometimes we just got to learn how to put ourselves to the side and just hear what that person's saying. Because some people, they have so much passion that, they gonna come
out messed up.
It gets mistaken for anger.
The message, not the delivery.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
It gets mistaken for anger because I'm the same way. How it comes out my mouth, it gets mistaken for anger, but it's passion. It's like, yo, this is serious to me.
Right.
It's not. This is not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just passionate about this. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change.
Right.
But it comes.
I heard more women sound like that right there.
Yeah.
Can I just chime in for 1 second? I agree with everything Mo said, but you know what's extremely important? When you're entertaining or establishing a position in a relationship, no matter how you define it, you need to actually ask the person how important communication is to them. Because a lot of people say they're a communicator, but you'll actually learn by having conversations and then checkpoint conversations. You'll learn how important it is for them during those conversations. And to the brother that had a red shirt on, I apologize, I don't know your name. For you to say that you're not changing for a woman, I just want to circle back to that. In order for you to be with someone else, you have to be adaptable. If you say that you can be with somebody and you're not adapting, then I don't know how long your relationships are going to be unless you're just in it to stick and move. And that's okay if that's what you choose to do, but then you got to accept that from the person that you choose to deal with as well. If they come to the table and they say that they're not changing for you, and that person could potentially be the one, that's going to be like a slap in the face.
Right.
And a part of that goes along with your communication, your style, your listening skills, and how much you're willing to put into it. So just wanted to add that piece to it.
Can I chime in real quick?
Oh, well, you got it, bro.
First of all, what Dixie is saying about the attachment style is complete truth. You have somebody in a relationship 9 times out of 10 that's avoidant.
Yo, where you at on Family Matters, bro?
That nigga smoking a vape. He's smoking a vape on Cliff Huxtable's couch.
Cosby show right here.
Yo, I completely apologize. Bro. I threw you off, but I just was like, yo, what's going on here, man?
No doubt. Because it is, you know what I'm saying? It is to a degree, man. That's why it's my background. Like, but what he's saying is true. Somebody in a relationship plays one role, somebody plays another, and how it manifests itself is different in every relationship. I would also say, as far as adaptability, yeah, you do got to change, but that has to go both ways too. And what I think what men struggle with now is the fact that they don't see a level of adaptability and a level of humility in many women these days, where, you know, yes, women have a degree of empowerment above and beyond what previous generations have had. And what that manifests itself into is, it's like the rubber band effect. It's popping back, but it's popping in a way that is damaging to relationships, and saying that I'm a woman, I don't have to do what you're telling me to do, or I don't have to be anything other than who I am, and you have to adapt because of what I have.
I've heard that.
And I think that both parties got to come to the table and be willing to adapt, because we have to reflect each other's values. You know, the things that I want to put forth as being those things that are most valuable have to be manifested through my woman. They have to be reflected through my woman.
Right.
Because when I'm out in my world, when I'm out and I'm with my wife is more of a reflection of my successes, my commitments, my values than anything else, more than the car that I drive, more than anything. So if the manner in which she carries herself, the manner in which she does the things that she does is reflective of my values, and I have to be the same thing for her. And I think what's missing is we all got one foot out the door. We all have one foot out the door. We are really struggling in this world committing to anything, because we don't gotta commit. Nigga, right. If you late paying your light bill, if you complain to the right person, you might get a break. If there are no absolutes. And I think because there are no absolutes and everybody's truth can be their truth and it can go over, it just makes it more difficult to say, this is what we're going to ride together regardless. So listening to what everybody else is saying, that's kind of what I feel. Everybody got to be able to adapt.
Well said, man. Well said.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Also, I can't speak for everybody else, but the way I see it, man, you got to be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Yes. You got to be able to do what the other person's doing. I had a situation where I was with my old lady. I was the main breadwinner. I was doing everything in the house. I had a stroke. That all changed. I became daddy daycare as opposed to, doing main priority. And my old lady ended up, becoming the main breadwinner. So, I put myself in her shoes for a few months, man. And it was like, you you see things differently because you see it how they view it. You know what I mean? Like I saw that what she was doing on the regular, and I started to appreciate that what she did, and then she started appreciating what I did. So it became a whole different way of how the relationship grew. And me and my old lady been together for 15, 16 years now.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And this just happened recently, a couple years back. So it's like, it depends on how you view yourself and how you can see how they view it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like you grow together. Now, you know, things ain't always going to be perfect because things get rocky. That's with any relationship. But it's where y'all willing to put that compromise and that work in to make it better. You know what I'm saying? I love my life a whole new different way because of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, I try to see things a little bit differently because I'm stubborn as hell. I'm part of that asshole club. You know what I'm saying? And
shit, me too.
Say I'm not.
I think we can all be assholes.
No doubt.
Yeah, hey, man, but
we all have the ability to be an asshole from time to time.
But I'm the king around here, man. My wife,
I don't know. You might not have that crown, bro. You might not have that.
I don't know. My wife will attest to that. She'd be like,
Right,
I don't know.
right.
Because Lord knows my husband was an asshole. But you know what?
Can I say something though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mo.
No, you go ahead.
Good. You go, Mo.
To the brother that was just speaking, I appreciate what you just said when you said you need to be able to step into somebody else's shoes to possibly reciprocate the emotion. What I'll tell you is sometimes you may want to do that, but that could be so triggering for somebody. If you don't know what their anxiety levels are, you don't know what their past experiences are. At least if you were born in the 70s, you were taught to suppress a lot of shit.
Right.
Hell yeah.
So that you can push forward and move forward through. Excuse my language. I apologize, Aaron. I don't even know, bro. Oh, okay. But we were taught to suppress a lot of stuff, yo. So to put yourself in somebody's shoes, if it looked familiar, like it was something that hurt you, that might be a sketchy thing to do, a little rocky boundary right there. And back to communication. You possibly have to have some uncomfortable conversation to say, hey, listen, I'm good on this side. I'm not good on that side. You had a stroke and you endured a life-changing event, right? You would expect to step right in and do what they're supposed to do to hold it down. But are they really going to hold the fort down the way you would? And are you really going to be satisfied or fulfilled or just accepting of what they're bringing to the table because it was a life-changing event that nobody expected?
Right.
So it's a few things with that. You feel me? Some guys check out. There's a lot of women that check out. They're like, nah, I wasn't expecting that, bro. This is too hard. Sis, I can't deal. And they check out and they go somewhere.
Get them.
So to step in somebody else's shoes, you gotta, first of all, are they really gonna bring everything to the table to tell you what that trigger is that affected them or caused them to say yay or nay? And then how would they handle it?
Right.
It just brought me to how, remember in grammar school, they used to train on how to fire your dress.
Yo, you breaking up.
Say that again, Mama.
How many of I'm in the city. I had an event. I apologize. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you. Just broke. You
We
kind
can
of
hear
clipped
you.
real quick. Go ahead, say what you
Bro.
said. Just say what you said again. Sorry.
You remember in grammar school, they trained us how to react to fire drills?
Yeah.
They taught us skills on how to respond to fire, stop, drop, and roll.
Right.
Many of us really got that foundation at home on how to care for your spouse or your partner, or how to really provide for a home, or how to communicate, especially when we come from where we was born in the 70s, where we were taught how to suppress so much. But yet when we went to grammar school, we were taught how to look out for fires and touch the door to see if it's hot. Don't go out.
I don't think the
Get
job
low,
for
smoke rises.
I don't think the job for men has changed. We always been We've always been in charge of protection and providing. I think it's women that don't know.
You got some men that's undercover, brother. You got some men that ain't they not bound to that contract.
Well, I don't know what to say about those type of men. I mean, that's not me. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm a protector and a provider.
Right, but you said
that's been for men for thousands of years.
You putting everybody in that cipher.
But a lot of it is
like women were taught how to be providers.
No.
Yeah, but ain't no woman that's providing over here when you dealing with me. You know what I mean? That's not your role. What I think that women haven't been taught the proper roles. You know what I mean? Our grandmothers were. Our grandmothers fulfilled those roles, and back in those days, black people we were married at the highest rate out of all the races in America. Back in our grandmothers' days. Now we're the least. We're married to I think it's like 21 or 23% rate.
People don't respect the sacrament anymore, man. They don't respect it.
A lot of things come into play with that too. They're trying to break up the black families.
Yeah, exactly.
A whole nother story. But a lot of comes into play with that. You know what I mean? So yeah,
exactly. But we got to answer what happened.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. Somebody used the word humility, and just recently I stopped considering myself. I don't like that word anymore. So if somebody gets a chance to look it up, I want you to look the word up and see what it says. But I personally think so many women were feeling like they were giving all of themselves and beating themselves up and being superwoman and not necessarily being appreciated for what their contribution was to the household. Because they weren't getting the recognition that they felt like they needed. And so I think with the millennials, I think a lot of them started to get into that, I'm a girl, I can take care of myself, I can do it for myself, I don't need a man to do it for me.
What is the recognition? Sorry to interrupt, but what is the recognition that's being looked for? What is specific that's being looked for?
Because I think a lot of times men feel like because they pay the bills in the house or because they're the breadwinner, you got to look at it different ways. I do feel like the man is the head of my house. However, we have equal contributions. It doesn't look the same on each side, but you put your piece in, I put my piece in, and we make this world go round. You know what I mean?
It's a team.
I think, right. But I think there has been times where women felt like they gave a lot of themselves, you know what I mean? And they didn't necessarily get that recognition from their husband or whatever the gratification was that they were supposed to get, they weren't getting that. Like if you look at statistics and see, not even just with Black people, just women, period. Like you go through that whole, like in the 70s, I think they even go all the way back to like the 60s, like how insignificant women felt. You started to have a lot of them that was drinking wine and shit at the house, and then they went into the volume stage, and then
so is that the man's fault though? Is that the man's fault?
No, but she makes a good point in that's when around the second wave of feminism started.
But
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I've been married for years. My ex-wife had many accomplishments, papers on the wall, all that. So, and I'm like what you're saying. I think she didn't. She thought she wasn't getting recognized for what she did. So that's why I'm saying this. Like, what is a man supposed to do? Like,
they don't know. They don't understand that.
Well, for some men do feel threatened when you have a woman who may have all those accolades. I think also too.
No man gives a shit about any of that. Your degrees, the amount of money you make. Let me say this: no man with money, cares about that shit. I don't give a shit how much money you make.
I think
degrees, you got none of that shit.
Hold on, one at a time, so we can hear it.
It ain't got nothing to do with money. A man's not worried. That's not in a man's mind. A man just want to take care of his wife and family. Fuck how many, excuse my language, fuck how many degrees she gets, or you know what I'm saying? Not fuck her accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad she took the time to do that, but that's not it. That's not what I'm bowing down to. I don't bow down to your degree.
Do you think that's what she wanted? She wanted some kind of like.
That's what feminism has taught them. That's what feminism has said, that a homemaker, they telling them that a homemaker is not something to be valued. What's something to be valued is to go out here almost similar to a man and gather up accomplishments. You know what I mean? Degrees, positions at work, pay, whatever, you know what I'm saying, so they can be equal to a man, but they don't understand the man's eyes. That doesn't make you equal to
You
him.
feel so
a
you
homemaker
feel
is just as valuable to me as somebody. Trust me, the one thing I do need,
as the person who makes the money, like both are equally important.
I don't need any of that shit, but the one thing I do need, you know what I mean, and the brothers on here can attest to that, because I can't cook worth shit, and I can't, you know what I mean, like I need help with all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So if there's anything that I need help with, is in that area. So you know what I'm saying, if you come in here into my house with a you know, you got a master's degree and you make whatever, you ain't gonna make more than me. But if you make whatever you make, it doesn't mean anything to me. None of that stuff.
I appreciate it, but
y'all are proving my point. So if she goes and she betters herself and she wants to look for a career, you both of y'all just agreed that don't mean shit to you.
No.
She has a certain role
it means
that needs to be played in this household.
It doesn't mean shit to me.
Look,
hold up.
Go ahead,
It means something because a true man is not going to feel emasculated by what a woman's accomplishment.
Right.
My wife got a master's degree, bachelor's and master's degree. Man, I got a little bit of college completed, but I'm the breadwinner in my household. It was a point where my wife had lapsed me in pay, but that didn't make me feel like less than who I know. I'm in tune to who I am.
Right.
So like me being in tune who I am, that does not threaten me because as a person, all it's gonna do is that's gonna make my household better.
That's it.
So I'm good. I'm good with that because that's only gonna add to the value of what we're trying to build. See, I'm not just. Well, I got a partner. When you got a partner, you're building shit as opposed to having somebody who's a dependent upon you. That's my partner in it. So we're building. You dig what I'm saying? So like, man, she can go out here, man, and get a doctorate. She can be the fucking the doctorate of the school board of education. I don't care about none of that shit because I guess what? It's coming to the crib. I'm going to value that, and I'm gonna praise her. And most importantly, I'm going to praise her for that because that's something she worked hard for. I was with my wife when she was
being supportive.
Right. I was with my wife when she was going through her trials and tribulations. Trying to
But you're gonna be helping to pay those
I'm not doing that though.
Will not take the back
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be participating in paying. That's what I see.
Why y'all can't help pay for the college?
Yeah, that's what I see. When I see a woman where you talking about you got a master's degree, I see student loan. I see student loan.
Not taking the
You bringing
back
debt into my relationship, man. I don't want that.
I'm not taking the back seat to that. I'm not bowing down. I'm not taking the back seat to no degree. I'm not bowing down to no degree. That's for us.
Right. Well, it don't have to be bowing down.
It's not just you accomplished this and I gotta act a certain way because you got these degrees now.
No.
You're bringing debt into the relationship, and that's what I see. You're not acknowledging that, but you're bringing a whole bunch of $100,000 worth of debt.
Hold on,
man. But Rick, what you're speaking to, Rick, is that was a narcissistic behavior. So it's different with somebody who's who's out here trying to achieve things, and they just all they want to do is be rewarded and appreciated for their merit.
I understand that.
For their merit. But a person who with a psyche of of a narcissistic psyche, that's not how they look at it. They look at it like, that puts me in a position to be better than you. It's like
now I can dominate
that's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
And in addition to all of that y'all said, my issue is, okay, I get it in the 50s and the 60s before that, women were marginalized a lot by men, let's be honest. And they was homemakers, the man, the breadwinner and all that. But this is a different day and time. Women are just as accomplished as a lot of men. Every woman I've been with had college degrees and all that. And I'm fine with that. I'm not threatened by your success, baby. Go get it. However, don't be looking for me to pay all the goddamn bills if you're making just much money. Because why you tricking off thousands of dollars a month to go here and there.
But you know what? Like,
I agree with that, though. I agree with that. I don't think everything. First of all, I think it just depends on your household and how things are, right? Like, I look at we have an Uncle David. He passed away a couple of years ago. But long story short, Uncle David was incarcerated, and long story short, his household was better off with him being Mr. Mom and her, going back to school and getting her nursing degree and all of that. Because the bottom line is he wasn't never going to be able to accomplish what she accomplished. You know what I mean? Like he had already messed it up for himself, but you know, that could have worked for their household, but he was such a man's man that played with his mind. You know what I mean? And so what he did was he went and got every job he could get, and he worked and he killed himself. He was also very sick. He had beat his body up. He ended up on dialysis, but he was trying to drive cabs and he was trying to work overnight here and he was trying to do security there. At one point he had like 3 jobs to the point where he killed himself. Whereas if they just would have worked out what was good for their situation,
and not the
it could have worked out better. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree with that.
I think
unfortunately that's happened to a lot of black men, you know what I mean? Where the you know what I mean, especially going through the crack era, which, you know, I don't know everybody's age, but I'm pretty sure we all grew up. During that era, you know what I'm saying?
We had a crackhead kick down our front door.
But to
really tie all of this in though, like we all have to be honest as individuals. Like there are red flags in the very beginning that let you know what kind of person you dealing with.
Yes, sir.
You know? The problem is because of that attachment style, dare I say, a lot of us don't get out when we should, and then we end up marrying a goddamn monster. You know?
I straight up ignored red flags. I knew, you know what I'm saying? Everything's right there, you know.
My problem was I saw the red flags, I addressed them. My problem was I was trying to see the good in somebody and trying to coach them through it. Like, no, you should do it this way. You should say that. No, fuck all that shit.
Welcome,
Kareem. You got it or you don't.
What up, Coop?
You know.
But a lot of it too, man, is like, you know, like you were saying earlier, I think Monique was saying about how, or somebody was saying about how back in those days, us growing up, a lot of us didn't have, you know, 2-parent households or what have you. A lot of it nowadays that nobody's household has a template on rearing their children. Like I had examples in my home. You know, my folks were married, but they got divorced. But even when my parents split up, I still had I have numerous father figures around me to rear me in a certain way that taught me the code of being a man, what to do, what not to do, how to conduct yourself, how to do a certain lot of things. And I think that's important for women as well, to have a woman in the household that can show you how to be ladylike. Don't take no shit off nobody, but still conduct yourself in a way to where, my dignity, my respect is worth something. So I need you to acknowledge that on the front end and not try to make me out of somebody that you can, you know, play for a fool or what have you. It's like once you pair up with somebody who kind of share those same sensibilities and how they see life, or not just see life, but how they see, you know, bonding and being in a relationship, I think it makes it that much better. Because I mean, I've dated chicks who ain't have a dad around and they got dad issues, and I got to deal with that shit because they got issues. Or
dad issues is a red flag, bro.
And
but
that's
you can
why
have dad issues with dad in the house too now.
Exactly.
Absolutely, a bad example.
What's more likely to be though, if coming from a single parent household or dual parent household?
I'm telling you,
what's realistically more likely to set you up for success? Yeah, you got exceptions to the rule. You always got exceptions to the rule. What's percentage wise is more likely to bring you to success? 2-parent household or a single parent household?
If those parents are not attached to their kids,
statistics say is dual parent household is better.
Man,
statistically,
for what reason?
You got 2 abusive parents, but you gotta have those parents got to be in tune with the kids. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's
right. You have a single parent household with an abusive parent. You know what I mean?
Dysfunctional households, man. That shit.
All things considered equal, it's better to have 2 parents in the house.
That's not true, man.
Not true.
They fighting every day.
That's not true. It's not better to have 2 parents in the house. Was that
they fighting every day?
Yeah, I didn't say fighting every day. You can have one parent that's fighting with her boyfriends. You can have a single mom that's always fighting with her boyfriends. Let's not consider. I said 2 parents or 1 parent. Which one is better?
But it depends. It really depends on the situation.
Man, keep saying it depends, shit, man. Depends. You can say one thing for one as you can for the other. Point blank, period. Which one is better, 2 or 1? Which one is better?
But
it's an easy question. Stop making it hard. Stop making it difficult.
I'm gonna answer it directly based off of personal experience. I had a 2-parent household, but my mama was with a narc, and he raised havoc for 10 years. I could have did without all of that shit, to be honest with you. So, and that's an
why I said it
example of
depends.
where a
So it's
2-parent
better to have a
household
1-parent
is not
household.
good.
It's better to grow up in a
I would have
single-parent household.
preferred that. I would have saw less bullshit.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
Right,
his
but
shit.
it really depends on the environment. Because like I grew hey, listen, I grew up with a single parent for a while till my mom got remarried. So that's but I still had those figures around me, right? But in our household, my mom ran everything. Now, when my stepdad was there, it's like he balanced everything out to where my mom didn't have to, because my mom couldn't teach me how to be a man. So thank God for my stepfather and my uncles and my pops and all when he would come around or what have you, because I've seen households where there was no man in the household. All the kids went out to college and got degrees and made success stories out of themselves. I've also seen households where both parents were there and they were so detached from their children that their children ended up growing up being a piece of shit. So it really kind of depends on the parent themselves and how much of a working
This is
relationship.
from hellomotherhood.com. Combined monitoring and educational support account for a 20 to 40% increase in the well-being of a child raised in a 2-parent home when compared to a child.
What is for white people?
Family.
What is for white people? White people. I need more information. I need more information, man.
We can look at Africa. We can look at Africa since we are Africans. We are diaspora.
Go to Leon's babies.com.
How do they do it in Africa? And I agree with Rick. So I don't want to consider the Western, you know what I mean, angle of things. I'd rather we're more naturally Africans. We more naturally align with them. How do they do it over in Africa?
But you know what? Hey, but Malcolm, the problem.
How's that happen over there?
But the problem with that is we've been.
They do single parent households over there in Africa.
We've been Americanized.
Is it?
I'm not fucking.
We talked about this last night about how the culture over here is different than a lot of cultures that's abroad. So like our development and how we look at things from this spirit of being from this country is going to be different than our motherland, because they still hold the same traditions and doctrines near and dear to their heart, and they teach these things every day. Whereas here we have the media, we have government, we got all these things that take us directly away from that right there and put us in a whole different direction. Mind, body, and soul. So it's like you can't gauge it by what they're doing over there, because we're so far removed from that shit that,
I got a study from BBC.com that says, I don't want to go in the whole thing, but basically says you're better off in a 2-parent household. So either way you want to look at it.
Probably in most cases, Malcolm, but there are exceptions.
Well, I only deal with most cases, you know what I'm saying?
Because
is it better to hit?
I'm you talking to somebody who was in a 2-parent household that was very dysfunctional.
Is it better to hit on 18 when you play blackjack, or is it better to hit? Is it better to stay at 18?
What'd you say, Mo? You say, Mo?
I said I was in a 2-parent household too, and it was dysfunctional. But I will say this: in all of its dysfunction, I get what the brother's trying to say. It's just a certain structure that you get that comes with that makes you look at things differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me with marriage, I think we both stepped into it with like failing is just not an option. You know what I'm saying? So if we going to do this, nigga, then let's do this. You know what I mean? Because if we not, then we don't have to. You know what I mean? So I think people just give up way too easy. I think if you saw enough there in the beginning, then that should be enough to hold on to if y'all are working together. You know, but I think that people just, you know, either you grow apart or you don't be willing to try and get through the tough times. And sometimes in tough times is hard as hell. Like when somebody was talking about, you know, I'm giving 150% and she only giving 50, like what you going to do? Just like that other brother said, he had a stroke. What if him having a stroke resorted him down to only being able to do 75% and she doing, you know, the other 120, 25, then, you know, is she supposed to get rid of him, or is she supposed to accept that for the rest of the duration of them being together? So it's when you say I do, you gotta look at the whole thing. It's an investment, it's a commitment, it's not.
Not to cut you off, because you definitely said for better or for worse. So,
right.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And also, I can't speak
sickness
for
in the
everybody
health.
here, but I'd rather be in my kid's life. I mean, I can't speak for anybody else
Yeah,
and what y'all
yeah.
situation is, but my kids are better off with me there every day on an
Absolutely.
everyday basis rather than just being with their mom. Trust me
Hey,
on that
man,
one.
it's hard to flock your sheep from
So,
afar, man. I
all
get
the,
that.
the
Absolutely.
single parent
Anybody-
advocates out there, I don't know. But I mean, for my kids, I think it'd be better with two parents.
I'm not a single parent advocate. I'm just saying not all situations are ideal, so that's it. But but it's very important to establish those boundaries at the beginning. It is, because I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I never had a conversation with my mom about boundaries and things like that. And I suggest, when I talk to people now about relationships, because a lot of my friends come to me for relationship advice because of all the shit I've went through, is like, you need to figure out your hell no's, your non-negotiables, and put them on the table right away. So if that person still crossing the line on any of those, then I will hope you have the strength to remove yourself from that situation.
Right.
Or you be in a worse situation years later.
Right.
I agree with Monique too, man. Like you got to be able to fight through some shit. I wanted to, when I had children, I got married and I had children, I always wanted to make sure I gave my kids what I didn't have, the shit that I longed for as a kid. Now, with that, in order for me to make that a reality, I got to be paired up with somebody who values the same kind of shit that I value, like what Wallace was talking about earlier. Like I'm real, I'm steeped in I'm real tight with my family. My wife is the same fucking way. She's a family oriented person. So like, my mother-in-law can come over here any day and talk to me. Well, my wife ain't here. We'll sit down and talk and have a conversation. Same thing with my father-in-law. My wife goes over my mother's house and I'm like, where you been? It's like, oh, I've been at your mama's house. That kind of shit there, that makes it easy. That makes it easy for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I was just laughing because she could turn that into a joke at your mama's house.
Oh, right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, that makes my life much more easy because now I'm able to afford my daughter the upbringing that. And not saying I had a bad upbringing, but I was able to be here for everything from the day she was born to the day I sent her off to school, bro. I would have did exactly what I set out to do by her. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully that shit will rub off on her and make her more committed to, if whenever she does decide to start a family, make a commitment to be there, but make that commitment with somebody who sees shit in a similar way that as you
like-minded.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the conversations that don't happen that needs to start happening in the household.
Right.
Like, the thing my mom pushed was independence and making good grades and shit. And that's good. I'm glad she did that. But there needs to be some conversations about, you need to put just as much thought into picking a partner as you do making A's and B's. Because you can make all the A's and B's in the world, you can get all the college degrees in the world. If you pick the wrong partner, it can destroy you.
It can bankrupt
you. A little bit of common sense too. A little bit of common sense goes a long way, man.
Right. It can bankrupt you, not only financially, but emotionally and morally too.
It goes back to that thing saying, when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
Yep.
Because you end up
read the actions, not the words.
Right.
Yeah.
So real quick,
Can I ask a question with that though?
Go ahead, Monica.
I do partially agree with what you said, more over 50%. But do you believe that sometimes people's actions are mistakes and they can learn from them and grow?
Good question.
Everything is learn. Everything is a learning experience. Everything that you go through in life and see in life is a learning experience. Now, whether you decide to, take that situation and make it for a better situation, that's solely upon you. But it takes two parties to want to make that thing work. If it's only one of y'all that's doing all the grunt work, it ain't gonna. And if that person doesn't learn from the very thing that they were fraudulent on or they messed up on or whatever, then it's like you back at square one, and it's never going to materialize in the fashion that it should because that person is not as invested in it as you are.
Right. I like that.
And I'm okay with second chances. I'm not that rigid to where you damn spill my coffee, I'm kicking you out the door. Like, no, I'm not saying that. But it's just certain things ain't no coming back from. I don't give a shit that it's year 1 or year 30.
I know some people that have that stepped out and were forgiven. I don't think cheating automatically is a deal breaker because we make mistakes. And it's like if you have that time vested in, people do make mistakes. People are put in positions and stuff. So I don't think that cheating is a straight deal breaker. I would be upset and it'd be hard, but I don't think I would throw everything away just because, we fuck up, we make mistakes,
No, but you know what? That's not, I'm gonna say it's a difference between a mistake. It's a difference between
choice.
Making a bad choice. A mistake is when you don't know, when you're ignorant to something and you do it. A bad choice is when you know the outcome of it could possibly be this way and you still chose different.
Here's how I would play that situation. If I caught my spouse cheating, which I did in real life, but anyway, let's say hypothetically, if your response is "I'm sorry, let's go to counseling, I'll never do this again," that's one thing.
Right.
But if your response is gaslighting and blame shifting, man, get the fuck out of here.
We're done. You made me do this.
Yeah.
Really?
I learned it from watching you.
Right.
But you know what? I think some people, I hear what you're saying with that, and Lord knows I'm not trying to make excuses, but I believe people just believe their own shit. You know what I mean? Like you really think somebody probably really feels that that's their real honest justification, that they weren't doing something, or you weren't doing this, or you weren't doing that, and I felt like I needed to get it from somewhere else.
That's called a lack of accountability.
I ain't buying that. That's accountability.
Yeah. Accountability. That's good.
Well, see, that's
I don't know what Monique's schedule is next week, but I elect her to come back next week.
Yeah, Monique, you I like your perspectives on a lot of stuff.
Monica
too.
And Monica too. And Monica too.
And Monica.
But
thank you
to balance that thing out though.
No doubt. Hey, it's good to have definitely a woman's perspective, because we've been in here like, man, for some people, some panel members get it more than others with the feminism shit, I'm not gonna say
we was on a chauvinistic network over here, man. Instead of wide body media.
I had to double take the look at the podcast, take a double take, like, is women on here? But I want to ask y'all something, man, before we go, man. What are y'all thoughts? I want to give you a quick I made this slide up of some things, and I want you guys' take on it. All right, so let me go ahead and share the screen, and we'll talk about it. All right, that's Serena Williams.
Wow, you already know where I'm going. You already know my argument.
This is the first time. This is the first surgery. That's the
self-hate, man. Self-hate, man.
This is my girl I used to like from
Lisa Turtle.
Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. Michael should be on this list. That's some Bevilacqua shit. He never did plastic surgery. I'm sorry. And it's Wendy Williams, an old girl from I forget her name, but
I don't think Regina Hall has. If she has some work, I can't really see it. But a lot of that, man, is that again, man, we by us being in this country, man, and during decades of torture and all, by every stretch of the word, it's like, man, listen, we have been brainwashed in so many different facets and ways to believe that how we are currently constituted is something substandard. But on the flip side of that, they make us feel substandard about how we look. Then they take our look and they become us.
I just wonder what kind of pressure that these people are under. Like Serena wasn't, everyone used to drool over Serena Williams. Like, I don't see anyone that's went under the knife and lived to tell a good story about it. What I'm saying, I don't think
it must be something, because there's women, there's thousands of women. Not even celebrity. There's thousands of women that's getting all types of surgery, bro.
I'm interested in the women's.
But let me say this one more thing.
Go ahead, bro.
When you start subscribing to other people's standard of beauty, that's going to always happen. Think about it like this: when the Kardashians first came to prominence, and they started doing all the augmentations and changing the appearances of that. That's when our women started buying into their concept of what beauty is. And anytime that you start to follow somebody else's standard of beauty or what beauty is, you're gonna always be a slave to that narrative. Always.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is in the eye of the beholder.
You ever
It's
go
women
to
in Africa that are doing the whitening shit.
doing
Man.
the same
Oh,
shit.
I know the bleach shit. I've seen it.
Right.
Is that, you know what, y'all? That shit been going on for years.
For decades. Yeah, for
It's been
centuries.
going on for years.
But you know, like if you go to a beauty supply store, right? What's the first I know me and locally that we got a shit ton of beauty supply stores.
Imagine.
When you go in the beauty supply store, when you walk up to the front door, that glass, how those women on that? The women on that window look like they're fair skinned with long hair. So what is the first image that a dark skinned sister gonna look at when she it's like you know, advertising. It's like it's a subliminal shit.
That's
like,
colorism. It's
colorism.
and colorism been a part of been going on for a long time, bro.
For years. But I'm just saying that's just one of the things that a lot of people are not even they're oblivious to when they go. I mean, when they see that, it's like, wow, you know, I want to go get this Brazilian weave and do this. I see more lace front wigs, man, on these young girls too. I see more of that shit. I'm like, damn, like
I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'm cool.
Well,
with
I mean, that's always
and the way to combat that is, you know, I have 2 daughters, and I'm constantly telling them that they're beautiful. Their hair is pretty.
Yes, sir.
Real shit.
You know, constantly telling them that. You know, they need that validation because when they get out here in the world in this white dominant society is going to constantly tell them in overt and covert ways that you do not meet the European standard.
Yeah.
So that's the way we combat that.
We always don't meet the European standard. And I'm going to be honest with you, y'all as men, sometimes, you know, y'all say that y'all down with it, but it's a lot of brothers that's not down with it. It's a lot of brothers that don't want their women wearing
I like natural. I want natural. I'm
It's
pro-black.
a
I'm
lot
very
of brothers
pro-black.
that don't want natural. They don't want
I'm very pro-natural.
I'd rather have original hair.
Wait,
let us finish.
One at a time. Go ahead, man.
Let finish, y'all. Y'all talking over.
Yeah.
Let us finish.
Go ahead, man.
Oh, I was saying it's a lot of brothers that don't want that. I know plenty of women that their spouses don't want that. They don't mind if you don't put a perm in it, but you better blow dry that shit out and wear it out. You know what I mean? And if you got that real nappy, some of them they don't. Let me tell you something. First of all, it's hard taking care of that stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of times with women, it's just the convenience of it. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to do much to it. But then, yes, all those other factors that are in the environment play a part too. So, you know, when you go in corporate white America, they don't know if this is considered done or not done. They don't, you know, some of us don't even know what done and not done is. I've seen some people, I'm like, why the hell would you walk out the damn house looking like that? You know what I mean? So I think we all have our own set. I mean, come on, y'all done seen them. I mean, if we're gonna keep it real, some people, you just like, no, you got to do something else. That stuff's not easy to do. Like for me, I'm not gonna lie, I liked it better when I had a perm in my hair. It was just more manageable. It was easier for me to do. Now I got to sit here and try and rake through all these curls and buy all these products.
Yeah, you got enough men on the panel to ask how we prefer women.
Yeah, we don't want. I don't like.
I
wigs.
want natural.
I don't want no.
Women always say that. They say most men prefer something or another, but you got how many brothers on this panel right here?
Hold on, real quick, fellas. Hold on, Monica. I was gonna let her go. Go ahead, Monica. You there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on the colorism piece for 1 second. When I was working overseas, I can tell y'all right now that bleaching cream is everywhere, everywhere, including the public bathrooms. And the one thing and I'm dead serious, including the public bathrooms. And it's so cheap because to them, the fairer the skin, the richer and purer the blood. Also, every channel that I turned on, whether I was in Korea, whether I was in the Philippines, whether I was in Dubai, when I tell you, they worship the whiter skin, the blonde hair, blue-eyed individuals, and the darker the skin, you were too close to black. And everything that they showed on TV that included black people was violent.
Yep. You're not really lying. She's not lying.
A lot of them felt like if I bleach my skin, I won't be identified as being violent or poor or of lesser class, because in a lot of those countries, you got to mesh with your class. So when you got the Sammy Sosas, even though he was a famous baseball player who made millions of dollars, he still fit in a particular class. And the class that he wanted to fit in did not include his color of skin. So he changed his pigment so that he could fit in that class, not caring that he was going to be a detriment to his own health by what he was doing, which is basically putting acid on your skin.
That's fucking crazy.
And you also got to understand, and those individuals that are from those third world countries, I can't recall if Serena and her sister were born here, but their parents were born, I believe, in another country. And they teach them that in the West Indies, the lighter the skin, the better you will be accepted by society.
I'm gonna tell y'all
the Jamaica posters. All the
Yes,
Jamaica posters got them coolies on there. They don't got the dark girls on there.
And I'm gonna drop a nugget on y'all. So I went to HBCU. Shout out to Alabama A&M University. Now, with the sororities, not so much with the fraternities, but the sororities, they was doing that brown paper bag test in the 2000s, especially for AKAs.
Yeah.
So we have completely bought into that too.
Yeah.
You know, which is it all goes back to self-hate. It goes back to self-hate, you know, but it's just sad how we have just bought into this fallacy that fairer skin is somehow better.
And what's crazy about that is that a lot of us on here we're all melanated people, and you know, a person who a red bone nigga like Phil's, he can't stay in the sun too long.
Like, hey, I was waiting. I was waiting to chime in.
This is my first time seeing you, damn.
Welcome, Phil.
You know I love you, Phil. I was just saying it because
Yeah,
right, almost white.
Like, okay, can I just share my experience as being like a light-skinned black man, right? So growing up in Highland Park, I was the only one that looked like me. And mind y'all, both my parents look like every one of y'all. My mama's darker than a few of y'all. My daddy's a little bit lighter. But I don't know. I know where I got why I look like from, but I couldn't help that, right? Like I can't help that, you know, my lineage has got Irish in me and it skipped generations, right? Yeah. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to get picked on by dark-skinned people. I used to fight every day because I'm like, why aren't y'all accepting me? Because like y'all see my mama. My granddaddy was the tow truck man for the city. You see me get dropped off by this man. Like, you know what my family looks like. Right. I can't control how I look. So like, you know, throughout being a kid, it was just like, it was tough because like, by all means, like I'm not jaded. By all means, y'all my people. Like, I take jokes in stride. I'll cap on a suck in a quick second because
LB Shore saved y'all though.
He never saved me.
Light skinned niggas used to be in. Light skinned niggas used to be in. Like that was you talking back in the 90s.
I used to get the dark skin jokes. I used to get dark skin jokes. In the 80s, light skin was in.
Yeah,
that was
90s.
I used to fight, bro. Like I used to have to fight just to.
Nah, they used to fuck with light skinned niggas where we grew up.
So it's just like knowing that, and then now as an adult, I see it like now because of how I look. I blend in with like multiple nationalities. Like people ask me if I'm Dominican, if I'm Puerto Rican, if I'm Cuban. They know I'm black of some descent, but they ask me the extra stuff.
Your name Nortez. I thought you was when I first met you. I thought you was like from one of them islands.
Hey, look.
That's good though. You can blend in wherever you at.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like I just look at it as I think it's
sad.
Bro.
They should name you Ortez, man. Sorry.
You can blame that on my mama, man. I once again, another attribute I have no control over, right?
Got you.
So, but I think like the beautiful part about us as a people is like we can make people that look like me, and that's not a bad thing. Like we shouldn't look at it as a bad thing because the black male and female can make every race. No other race can make us.
That's a fact.
Dominant gene.
So like we don't understand as a people how powerful we are because we're playing this tit for tat.
Right.
Like okay,
like if we go back to the creation of man, the reason white people and everybody of not black exists is because of albinism, it's because of migration, it's because of Pangea, blah 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 blah. Like we know what it is. So the thing is, like, blackness will never be escaped.
Right.
So no matter how much people bleach their skin, no matter how much, you know, the Aryan nation tries to like keep it pure, like the black gene will always survive. Always. And the minute that we realize how important we are to life in general and creation in general, we will never truly understand our worth. Like you know what I'm saying? Like we should celebrate the fact that, oh snap, you a caramel dude. Like, oh, but I know you came from a black person.
Yeah.
Like that's a genetic combination that no man can explain.
We all make Kool-Aid the same damn way, man.
Like,
I ain't got a problem with you. I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead. Go
with me, man.
Anyway, let me sip my wine. All right, I'll put on myself.
RTO Beats in the house.
But what's good?
Well, I was just gonna say, I always marvel at the Olympics, right? Especially at the sisters, and I mean that in general, because whether they're Jamaican, South African, or just African, Jamaican, no matter, you cannot tell that they're not like sisters in America until they start talking. And I always marvel at how the similarities are in the physical appearance. You know, even, you know, to the facial features and all. It's like, man, our African, like, we had some dominant features, man. Like, especially with the Jamaican team. Next time you guys see them, like, just block out their uniforms and just look at them. You would think it's from a sister from around the way. So you start talking.
Letitia.
She's from Philly.
Right. From 14th Street.
Right. Real shit. I agree with that.
But until we start, man, you know, teaching our children, man, to love themselves, because that's where it all starts. Right. You got to teach your children how to love who they are, man, and like love what's considered to be their imperfections, even if they're imperfections, because no man walking the face of this planet is perfect with their physical features, perfect in how they walk, perfect in how they talk, none of that shit. But if you teach your kids, if you surround your kids with nothing but love and teach them how to embrace who they are, when somebody else brings that negative shit to their front door, they were like, I don't know what the fuck wrong with this person. I love me. Yep. So you know, but you know,
I made a Facebook post not long ago. I said, you know, be sure to validate your children every chance you get, because it will determine, you know, who they become and who they allow to stick around. You know, so be sure to always validate your kids, even if it's something small.
And they claim that's the man's job, the father. That's what they say. The father's supposed to be the motivator.
I think it's all around the board. It's important.
It should be. But I'm trying to go with Malcolm like statistics, so I'm gonna go with
I got fucking called down shit. You told me. When'd you get here, nigga? When you show up?
Hey,
but mothers are the first teachers, though. So
yeah, they're the first teachers.
We talk about hold up, Phil. We talk about love, and we talk about teaching.
That starts in the womb.
You're exactly right. But I'm talking about when you get externally, when it become external. You know, it's all of our job. It ain't just a mother's job to teach, but a mother is the first teacher. But it's all our job as parents. I don't care if you live with your kid or don't live with your kid. When you get your kid for the weekend, you know, you teach you.
I don't think that's what Kareem said. I don't think Kareem said only the father teach. Did you say that?
No.
I don't said that.
Well, it depends. It depends on if you believe in the good book. If you go to Ephesians 6:4, the father's supposed to be the nurturer and the provider to his children. It says it right there. No,
the mother's the nurturer.
No, are we talking about religion right now? Or we talking about life?
I'm just saying.
Who wrote that book?
I'm saying.
Who wrote that book?
That's a whole other thing right there.
I'm saying if someone was to listen on and say that, I'm just playing the other side of the coin, right?
I got you, man.
But but I'm just saying, like, you know, I agree. Like it's all of our jobs. All of our jobs to raise our kids to.
What happens though? I mean, I'm saying we still in the single parent is better than a dual parent household.
Never. Never.
We got some advocates for single parent households in here.
I mean, I don't think it should ever. I mean,
nobody was advocating single
I mean, you.
I heard single parent households better than a dual parent household. Let's rewind the tape. Let me rewind the tape. That's what I heard.
They didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
That's not what they said. I was just listening.
I asked the question. I asked a direct question, nigga.
Who was watching?
I know what I asked, nigga. I asked a direct question.
Hey, what I heard people say was
one at a time. One at a time. Say what you're gonna say. Someone.
No, I was just saying that statistically speaking, it is better to have a 2-parent household. But there are.
I was just throwing the knife in there. Y'all could go on with the
control.
This is more for field. I was giving an outlier-based example of how I grew up in a 2-parent household, but it was very dysfunctional.
But it was toxic.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish the parents wouldn't. I wish somebody would get the hell out of here.
Right.
Man.
Can
I go down the rabbit hole and okay, and maybe this is just something I've seen. Like,
hey, Phil, before you start, what wine are you drinking, brother?
Oh, I'm drinking a Kicker Cane 2016. Okay. It's something from down here. It's won a couple of awards. If you got Total Wine in your area, it's a pretty good wine. Kicker.
No Snoop Dogg got a wine now.
Is it a Merlot?
Yeah, it's Snoop Dogg wine.
No, it's
that shit all the same to me, bro.
Yeah.
Snoop's got with the 16 crimes. He's got.
Oh no, I'll never drink that again.
That ain't no good.
That had me calling Jesus.
I mean, it's just like any other wine you buy at the gas station.
Nah.
Yeah, damn cool.
Hey, Phil's over there with that MD 2020.
Cool, what happened, man? You supposed to come over, man. What happened, man?
I was on.
It started raining, dog. Hard.
Hey,
did it rain? What you gonna walk, nigga? What
I was on all fours, man. Calling my baby girl. I said, "Get daddy some water."
You gonna ride a bike over here? How far you are away, yo?
I ain't that far from you, but it was kind of fucked up. Then you said you might not be finished packing.
Got adventure. What's up?
That's what it was. Are you scared I wasn't finished unpacking? I still ain't fully unpacked.
It's all about job, man, to make sure that these children that. Even if it's not your son, your daughter, your nieces. I got a niece, man, and she's a beautiful chocolate little girl. But I never miss an opportunity to tell her how beautiful she is. I never miss that because
we got to do that, man.
I never
important.
I got a little red bone niece, man, and a red bone daughter and shit. You know what I mean? I still tell them, but I tell them they need to.
Regardless,
I tell them you can't do. I told them both, you can't do that light skin shit. That shit don't make no sense. You have a light skin part.
Right, that's what's up.
Don't do no light skin. Two light-skinned people together, y'all gonna make a white child? Nah, we can't.
I'm gonna tell y'all something else.
I told them that.
First of all,
it's like eating cereal at night and shit. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't make no sense, man.
I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I wish Pot was here. I wish Pot was here to hear this.
Shit, no.
Be careful about how you talk to your kids, because if you lambaste your kids and talk to them crazy, guess what? They gonna probably like.
What did Potty say, man? I forgot.
How you be talking crazy to him?
I don't know, but you remember when I told you how he went off on my.
Yeah.
She was a baby. She was a baby up in the attic. Yeah. Monique, how you doing? It's been a long time. How you doing?
Babe, how are you?
All right. But yeah, this up in the attic, man. She had dropped him off for Pot to babysit, and she was crying. She was a baby, man. She crying. He's like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, that's a fucking baby, man. Yo, that's a baby. Yeah, man. I should have, man.
That was his own kid?
She was a baby and she kept crying. You know how babies cry.
What the fuck wrong with him, man?
Pot crazy. Y'all know Pot crazy.
Yeah.
We know. That's why you should have slapped him. Slap him.
It was like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's a baby, man. She crying. Pick her up.
Disrespect should never be
pacifier or something. Shit.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people talk to their kids like that.
Yeah,
I see it. I see it every day in the grocery store.
They really do. Yeah,
I see it out every day. And I see some people.
And it's real ugly.
And I see some people that baby their kids too much. I be like, man, they kids, especially, man, I'm about to get on a plane tonight and shit, or in the morning and shit. And I can't stand the kids on the airplane, man. I wish they banned kids under like a certain age, like probably under like 9, yo. You shouldn't even be able to fly.
He said under 9.
See, I used to fly with my kids, so I can't say that, man. I ain't saying.
Hey, look, you ever drive more than 3 hours with an infant in the car, brother?
I don't think I did, but that's gotta be torture. That's gotta be torture.
Hey, Phil, yours will help you drive.
Hey, shut up.
Kids, man.
Hey, I do it all the time. I tell my young, I say, hey, knock it off. That's enough for now. Let's listen to the music.
No, you gotta set that time right. If you gotta make sure you driving through the night so they be asleep. That's what you gotta do.
Or they gotta know daddy ain't playing that shit and they fall in line. I took plenty of trips.
That's a whole nother
I took plenty of trips, road
See,
trips.
Ricks is mean, yo. Ricks is real mean.
Now, I'm not mean. I'm not mean. I'm
Rick's a mean ass dad. You know, I try to front like I'm a mean dad, and that shit don't be working.
Rick's got that shit from Chet. He got it from Chet. I know his dad. I know his dad.
Do you have daughters? You got daughters?
I got 2 daughters and 1 son. I got 2.
Your daughters. I bet you any amount of money they got you wrapped around their finger.
No, I'm whooping ass.
Not my daughters.
Yeah, Rick ain't like that.
What's the other one name? I'm sorry, the other
brother. My daughter got me. Yeah, my daughter got me wrapped around her finger. You know,
not you. I could tell. What's the other one name? No, wait a minute. Where he at? What he got on the red with the red? The
Dixie.
No, with the red.
Taz.
I bet you your daughter's got you wrapped in because you know why? If you tell me that you just tell them to sit down and they listen, they done already figured your ass out.
No, look. I'm 6 foot 6. Listen, first, I'm 6 foot 6. I walk up on my kids. My kids sit the hell down. I walk like.
Yeah, Rick ain't playing, yo.
I'm not.
Rick ain't playing. Rick don't fuck around.
I don't have a happy face. I don't have a happy face. How old are they? My oldest is 21, and my youngest daughter is 16.
Yeah, Rick's always frowning, but Rick's always.
I don't have a happy face.
Shit, yo. Yeah,
they got. Hey. My husband was the same way, but you know what? I respect that because if they can get through your assholishness, they'll realize that you're really helping them.
Assholishness.
Yeah, if they can get through the assholishness, they realize that.
But here's the thing, though: all women can get past it. All women can get past that for the right dude. They'll get past it, yo. So that's why I say just be an asshole. Period.
You got
because
to,
the woman,
brother like you, who say you ain't changing. For
the woman that likes you is gonna. The woman that likes you is gonna adapt.
Really love you. She gonna have to get.
Yeah, she gonna adapt. That's the only type of woman I want to deal with. I don't want to deal with nobody who kind of likes me and shit. Nah, I don't need it for that shit. Somebody who really wants to do me.
Rules and regulations.
And I ain't changing shit.
This is a good segue.
You changed. I'm not changing.
Kind of like.
This is a good segue because one thing I cannot stand about the modern woman. No disrespect to Monique Tamara. I cannot stand entitlement. So my daughter, my 14-year-old, I told her to go on Amazon and do some, pick out some stuff for school and stuff. So when I look in the cart, she don't slid a bunch of shit and ain't got nothing to do with school in it. I said, look. I said, let me tell you something. I told you to do this, X, Y, Z. Yep, this right here, this other stuff, you gonna pay for this with your money. The rest of it I got. Because I will not raise entitled kids. No.
Rules and regulations.
I feel you on that.
Mine's
had kids. I don't want my daughter over that shit right now, man.
That's entitlement. That's entitlement.
That ain't no damn entitlement. That's what they supposed to do.
That's entitlement.
Here's entitlement. Here's entitlement in a nutshell.
Go ahead, Hurt.
That's what they supposed to do.
That's entitlement because they feel like, oh, that's dad. I can get away with that.
Now wasn't you just the same one? I'm the breadwinner, and ain't nobody gonna make no more money than me, and I pay all the bills.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, that was
mixed up, Mo. Yeah, that was Malcolm.
That wasn't me.
That was Malcolm. But
that was Malcolm.
I didn't even have to say it, but I didn't say that, but that's the way it is for me.
I love
the other brother.
Y'all gotta make up your minds.
I love my daughter, and anybody who knows me that's I'll do anything for my daughter. But one thing that I can't, in good faith and good conscience, do is provide a lifestyle for her that I know that I'm not going to be able to keep up. So that's why when my daughter reached a certain age, she had to get a job. And we gave her a car. My wife gave her her car. So now she got to have a job so she can put gas in that car if it breaks down. She got to pay for that shit. So I don't.
Hold on, Hurst. Let me go get my daughter, man, so she can hear this shit. Okay, we supposed to pay the insurance and the fucking gas.
Daughter too, bro. Yeah, my daughter too. I had to put my foot down with her ass too, man.
But the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm not going to be around always to be that person to facilitate everything that she needs in her life. So if I don't do it as parents, if me and my wife don't take the initiative to go ahead and train her in a manner that when she leave our home and she can maintain and keep it going, what we taught her to keep it going, she gonna be right back at home, put a name on the orange juice and shit. And that's not what I'm raising.
Right.
Put the name on the orange juice.
Used to be that dads that marry their daughters off and shit. You know what I mean? I told my daughter we're gonna go back to that if she don't yeah, used to
But
be like.
let me say this.
Go ahead, Mo.
I have 3 daughters. The oldest is she'll be 27 in November.
Word.
The middle one's 22 and the young's 15. So the 2 older ones, it was some things that my husband did that I didn't agree with, and then it was some things that I did that he didn't agree with. But I think it depends on the child. Now my oldest, she took advantage of every opportunity that she could, and not always in a positive way. You know what I mean? So her whole thing was, if I can skate through life, let me skate through life. You know what I'm saying? The middle daughter, she worked hard and she busted her ass. She still got afforded the same opportunities, but she just did better with them than her sister did. So now she just graduated from college from Spelman, and she's on her way to Emory for her master's program. But I can tell you all the money that she got from like her little scholarships that she got here and there, she still has them all in the bank because her father set it up to where she didn't have to use that to pay for her schooling.
First of all, shout out to you and your daughter.
Yeah, no doubt.
And shout out to the dad.
Shout out to the dad too. Yeah.
Well, dad is he's no longer with us. He was murdered.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, Mo.
But
he
set it up for her that way. You know what I mean? So she kept that with him. I mean, with her. Everything that he taught her, and there's not a lot of kids who's 22 who can say they got double digits in the bank. And she does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she took everything he taught her.
A lot of adults can't say that shit.
Right. You know what I mean? Now, my oldest, she learned the hard way, but now, she's getting back into it. So, she went and got a cosmetology license. She just recently went and got her medical assistant license. Now she's going back to school to be a nurse. She's going to have to take a few classes at a time. She went and got, I have a granddaughter, so she has a 2-year-old she has to take care of. So she did it, you know what I mean? I think it depends on your kid is basically what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you
got
to see their potential and how they move and decide. Because the middle one, it was good that we didn't charge her anything. She took full advantage of that like she should have. But the oldest one, she didn't. You know what I mean? And because of that, she's not in the same position her sister is in.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, like, 'cause I'm sure y'all raised them the same way. Like, y'all didn't have favorites and shit. So, like, that's something I kind of always been interested in because my sister's like that. My older sister and me, we kind of got out there, got on our own, got it out the mud and all of that. But my sister, the knee baby, she's entitled as hell, and I don't know where it comes from. My mom didn't play favorites, so I don't like. I always like try to figure out that dynamic.
Kids are responsible for themselves.
Hey, Dixon, we got a brother like that.
Yeah, our younger brother.
The kids are responsible for their own life, man. That's why I try to explain to my daughter. It's like, yo, you can have 2 kids, you know what I mean, and one be, super evil and one be super good. Parents raise them both the same way. It's the kids who determine.
But I think, can I just chime in real quick? I think that whole raising the same way is full of shit.
I
like
agree
you as a parent.
Degree.
No, there's certain things like teaching them morals, ethics, like a sense of who they are as a human being is cool. Right. But once you know one kid is better at math versus you need to cultivate what they're like. You need to take the time as a parent to cultivate those skills and those talents. Like if you don't take the time to pay attention to what your kid actually gives a fuck about, they will fall to the so that whole we raised them the same, that's that to a degree. Like, so a box could be, okay, we taught them that you don't kill people, you treat people how you're supposed to be treated, the basics, right?
Yeah.
But the minute you see the one kid likes to do this, you gotta, hey, if it's karate every Saturday, like you gotta feed that beast. And then this kid over here, they like baking. So Betty Crocker it is. Like, I'm about to be in the kitchen with you. So then that way, you push them to what they're successful in. So that way they can feel a sense of accomplishment. So they have an example to fall back on, and they can accomplish other things as well. Instead of saying, well, they fell by the wayside. Well, no, did you really give them the time to help them cultivate something when they're the most malleable?
Real shit,
right?
Well, let me push back on that a little bit, because when I speak, I'm talking about personal experience. The sister I'm talking about was very accomplished. She scored a 30 on the ACT, went to Tuskegee, played basketball, graduated from college, only to flounder afterwards.
Right.
That didn't have shit to do with my mama. Like, so that was a choice she made to fuck off all them years of school.
But I'm talking about the people that just had kids and was like, well, they turned 18 and shit, they should figure it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you never do that to a child.
However, it feels. I keep it 100 though. But you did make me think about something though. If there was one thing that could have caused that at the time that, you know, she was a little girl, my mom and their dad split, and maybe that had something to do with it.
And that's probably some time for some talking, some like, hey, this is why, like, because you never know as a maybe if she was like 14 or 15, like I got a guy in my church going through it right now. Him and his wife are like bickering. Now his 17-year-old daughter, she just turned 17, she acting the F out. But all she saw was him and his wife fighting all the time. That's what I'm saying. Now
kids process shit differently. Because like from my experience, even the divorce I went through, like one kid was like, fuck it, I don't care. The other kid, that shit, she was, you know what I'm saying? It affected her. So it was just it's all on how they process.
It's the kid's individuality. You know what I'm saying? I got 4. And all 4 of them are different, but unique in their own way. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Because like my oldest, that's my I call him like the smartest dumb kid in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like you're genius, but it's common sense ain't like where it needs to be. His street smart ain't where it needs to be. My oldest daughter, she's intelligent, but she works at it. You know what I'm saying? She works to be that smart. My youngest daughter, she's very creative. She's my artistic baby. You know what I'm saying? She takes her in a whole different route. You know what I'm saying? Now they all got similarities because the oldest and my oldest and my third child are kind of similar, and then my oldest daughter and my youngest son are similar too, but they got their own paths. Cause see, my little boy is my mini me, but with my, you know what I'm saying, one of my oldest kids' energy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like they got their own individuality, how you work, and then it's hard to try to like. Because I be trying to like figure out what each one of them like, man. I ain't the brightest crayon in the box. You feel me?
Right.
I'm the old hood dude, so it's like, all right, wait up. Let me see what I can do with this, because I can't. I'm not on my son's genius level, but the common sense, I got it with him. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just the individuality of each kid, man, and it's crazy, especially anybody who raised parents know their children. So it's I don't know how to explain it, but just how we nurture that individuality in each one of them children, because they get the same values and we raise them kind of like the same way, but it's not. I want to say, you know what I'm saying? It's not exact because
their perspective is different.
Right.
Yeah, and we show them in a different way because we learn that that's how each one of them get their thing. Like I whoop ass all day long, but I whoop ass in certain, you know what I'm saying? I whoop ass in certain kind of things, and you be like, all right, hold up, But it's just you got to learn that your kid want, and then you're a good parent. You stick to what they like. You know what I'm saying? And everybody seems like they all in their kids' lives, and that's the main part. Because my daddy wasn't in mine. He was a dirtbag, and my mama was both my parents. But it's like, so it's just their individuality. You feel me?
Right. True. You got a point.
Treat them accordingly.
Right. That's real shit. Great points. I feel the same.
You know what? Not only that too. I think like I don't know, like you know, as a parent, you get better with each child. And I think each child is supposed to learn from the next child too. So, you know, like with us, with the first one, man, I was like 21, he was 22. We was still young ourselves. We didn't really know what to do. Like at that, she was our trial and error kid. Like we messed up with her. I ain't even gonna lie. Like we did some shit we had no business doing, like just being too rough and tough on her, thinking we doing the right thing, and you know. And then with the second one, she just, I don't know, she was just smart. She learned, like she figured out how to play us close. You know what I mean? And she like, all right, well, I see with my parents, if I get him A, B, and C, I can have X, Y, and Z. So let me always get him A, B, and C. And then I'm always going to get X, Y, and Z, you know? And then even the youngest, just like you said, her traumatic experience was she lost her father when she was 12, whereas the other two, they was grown already. So, you know, even though they had their challenges and what they had to get through, is like, you know, she in middle school, you know, she in the 7th grade, she trying to process all of this and figure it all out. So, you know, she went through what she went through too. So I think it's just, you know, I don't know, but I will say this, it pisses you off when you give all of yourself for these little fuckers to turn around and shit on your ass. I will say that, like, you know what, I was 2 seconds from like damn near selling my ass on the corner to make sure you was all right, and then now you gonna sit here and act like you're not appreciative. So I get what you're saying with the whole entitlement thing, but I think you know, if we're in a position where we can help them out just a little bit more than what our family was able to help us out. A lot of these white kids, you know what I noticed? Their parents don't expect them to do anything but just get their shit together. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, you 18, you got to pay a bill now. You got to do this, you got to do that, because it's hard around here, and it's this, that, and this. It's just, their whole thing is, listen, like, you can't stay here forever, but stay here, get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? Pay for your damn your insurance on your car, maybe, you know what I mean? And just finish school and just get through life and get your shit together for you. I think our kids, they already coming out. Like, I can't tell you how many kids, it's like they feel like they're grown because they're 18 and they paying half their mama's bills. Like, how you still nurturing somebody? How you still telling somebody how to do something when they feel like they taking care of you? You know what I mean? Like, everything you saying going through one ear and out the other. And I see that happening with a lot of boys too. It's like, I got to help my moms do this. I got to help my moms do that. Like, you can't teach that young man nothing no more. Like, damn near, like, or if you can, he ain't listening to what you got to say, because he looking at you like you ain't a good fucking example. So how the hell am I supposed to listen to what you saying? So I think we got to be careful sometimes with what we make them, you know, have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, we don't want them to feel too entitled. So I don't know. It's just a balance. It's everything.
It's a balance. For sure.
Everything
it's a balance. I guess for me, you know, the way I determine if somebody's being entitled or not, it's like, it's just this the expectation. Like I said, I used the example of, I gave my daughter specific instructions to pick out some school supplies, and you know, she saw any clothes she wanted, but when she started sliding other stuff in the basket, it's like, well, come on now.
I mean, the same thing you would have did.
And there was no conversation about that.
Right. When I did that,
it's kind of manipulative there.
Amazon, one of them Kindle accounts. I gave it a card to get some like silly string or something. And I started getting this charge every month. I didn't realize until like 7 months later, Kindle killing me. I'm like, what? Oh, your car was stored in the thing. You weren't supposed to store my car. Killing me
and
up.
Then they say, "Oh, I'll take it out. I can take it out. I'll take it out."
Killing me.
Monique, I don't think you messed up with your oldest daughter. I think a lot of times, especially like I'm like this. I'm the second oldest out of my mom's kids, and like parents usually are super tough on the oldest kids. So by the time they get to those younger ones, that all that wild energy that they were throwing at the older kids, it's non-existent when the young kids come about. So,
oh my God,
that's what my older brother said. That's what my older brother and older sister said.
It's the truth, man. Because I'm telling you, man, I got a brother right now, and like this dude think that everybody owe him some shit. Whereas when I was coming up, like mom was like, listen, I know you like all these fancy shoes and stuff, but if you want these shoes, you got to go get a job. And so that's what I did. My brother, he felt like, man, well, listen, but I'm the kid. You're supposed to give me what I wanted. And my mom messed up by trying to make sure that she gave them everything that they was looking to obtain, and she didn't make them really work hard for that shit. Like she had to tell me to go work hard for it. So like now, even at the age he's almost 40, he still got this entitlement, or it's still that you're supposed to do this for me because I'm your son, or I'm your brother. You're supposed to do this for me. Like, nah, nigga, like you got less wear and tear on your body than I got on mine.
Right.
What you mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But the oldest kids always get blunt force trauma.
My brother had it rough. I will say that. My pops was straight out of the Marines too. I know he got it. Yeah, I know he got it. But at the same time, he was a knucklehead too. The nigga, he didn't listen. So what you gonna do?
And all that shit comes from somewhere though. Like it's like Monique was just saying about how one method ain't always gonna apply to all the kids that's involved in the teaching or whatever. But like whatever's in you, my wife used to always say, whatever's in you, it's going to show itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that knucklehead shit that might came from your pops, or that or that other shit might come from somewhere else. That's in the genealogy or something.
You got it from somewhere.
It's coming from somewhere. So
we all got it in us. It's just what's feeding it. You know what I mean? Your environment plays a lot into that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I look at people like Biggie, right? Like if you know his story, you know his mother was all about education. She was his only child. So even though they struggled, they weren't struggling that damn hard, right? Because that's her only kid. And, he went to private school. She tried to make sure, he had everything he needed. But he just, he really chose the street life. You know what I mean? He didn't have to do that, but
it was that allure that drove him there.
Right. But everything that he saw, he was like, I'd rather be on this part of the food chain instead of on that part of the food chain. So, it's just like that was something in him that he could do, and he did it.
Indeed.
I said it about my youngest. I hate to say it, but Lord Jesus, the girl, her I just check her out on how she moves. I laugh at it, and I say all the time, she could be a pimp. Like I see how she pimp people now. Like she pimp her family members, she pimp her friends. Like
I gotta laugh at that.
She pimp everybody, and I be like, Mariah, what you be getting out of it to hook people up? She be like, oh yeah, he hit me with a 20, or this one gave me this, or that one bought me food, or this. And I be like, Dad, you really be pimping your family members out so that you can.
It must be in the name, because I got a niece that's like that. Her name is Mariah. Wow,
yeah, Mariah. Now me and Aaron got our nephew, our little brother's son's. Supposedly he's sweet as hell and bald. And he cute. So she like, nah, send him up here. I want to send him up here. I want my cousin around me. I said, what? So you can pimp him out to all the girls? Giving you money so you can give up the phone number, or telling them they can come over and spend a night. And next thing you know, I'm running a whorehouse and up in here.
Like I just said, it's coming. Hey, that's it's coming from somewhere.
It's coming from somewhere. Like, wow. Like no. It's just crazy. It's definitely crazy. Well, I like your little podcast thing y'all got going on here. I could do this a few
feel free.
times.
Feel free. No conflict of interest or anything. So you're more than welcome. Come back anytime. Thank you, Monica. Monica is your. Thank you so much for coming on the panel. You and your.
We appreciate you, ladies, for being here.
For sure.
No,
I appreciate being invited. Next time I won't have a conflict.
Hey, it's always we're here every week, 7:00 p.m. and we talk. We talk that stuff, man. We do what we do. Real quick, need to go over to Bandcamp. Check out the Comrade Northeast Beast, let's talk. I'm gonna be probably playing it next week. I want to make sure I'm good. I've been getting dinged up. Netmaker JB, J Bishop, Mr. Freely. So I want to make sure I got chipped up a couple weeks ago. Man. I didn't know I got
Dixie Freely got the security of the first world on his
So check that out. Well, yo, man, for real, I want to thank all y'all. Back next week for more topics, more discussions. That's it. We're gonna get on out of here, man.
All right, y'all have a good one.
We got the outro.
Peace. Got here too late.
Mo, DJ My Body, Ricks, Ortez, Fields, Simi Hustle, Monica, Diggerhurst, Dixie Freely, RTO, Rod Wallace. Thank you all. The chat, Child the Adventurer, Mental to God, Shelly Ann Reed, Malcolm. Thank you all so much. Please check us back next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 for the pre-mix show. If you like your music played, adswide@gmail.com. Please like, subscribe, hit that damn notification bell. Shout out to our sponsors, Pop House Woodshop, Skeet on a Rocket, Shout out Adventurer. Thank you so much. Till next time, let's peace on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey! Also, check us out on Anchor FM and Spotify playlist for the after the fact for replay. Till then, see you later.
Yeah.
Uno out.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Wild, I gotta tell you something,
now, baby.
When you go off the air.
I do too.
We still live.
Mm.